The Jake Asman Show will begin shortly. Thanks to all these great Patreon members who help support the show. Get your super chats ready. Jake will be here in just a moment. If you love the New York Jets, this is the place to be. And now, the Jake Asman Show.
Mike Tomlin to the Jets. Could it actually happen? We'll talk about Adam Schefter's report and where things stand. It's the Jake Asman Show. Let's hit it and get it started.
Man, our Jets are primed to win another offseason, baby. We bleed Jets green each and every day. Will the playoff drought finally end? Who's the coach? Who's the GM? Who's the quarterback? At least we have Garrett Wilson. We have Breece Hall. Please subscribe and hit the like button below. Super chat, baby. Cut the line. We have Sauce Gardner. We have Quinn Williams. Prepare to be underdogs. Now it's time to talk all things New York Jets. It's the Jake Asman Show.
Here we go, Jets fans. Hit the like button. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel if you haven't done so already. We're in the middle of this Eagles-Packers game that's about to end, and it's a terrible game. So I figured, why not pop on and do a show? Because, God, these games today have stunk. The game last night stunk. Even the Texans-Charger game was a blowout. So we have yet to really get a good game here on Wild Card Weekend. Maybe Todd Bowles and the Bucs will give us something tonight against the Commies. With that said, we're going to talk about Mike Tomlin. We're going to talk about the report from Adam Schefter. And before we do all that, I want to remind everyone watching that this week is the week for our raffle. Our grand prize is a Jets full-sized helmet. So if you want one, gift the membership or become a member, and you'll be entered to win. Shout out to everyone who supports the show. Can't wait to see who wins this full-sized helmet and a bunch of other prizes later this week. Here's Adam Schefter on NFL Countdown earlier today, giving us the latest on Mike Tomlin.
Last week, we said there would be teams that would check into the availability of Mike Tomlin, and one did. And one was told that Mike Tomlin has a no-trade clause in his contract. So anything that would happen in Pittsburgh involving Mike Tomlin would come with his consent and his consent only. A loss like last night's might further teams to look into it. Pittsburgh hasn't given any indication that it wants to move on from Mike Tomlin, and this has been the most patient franchise, not just in football, but maybe sports. When Bill Cowher was struggling at the end and fans in Pittsburgh wanted him gone, the Rooney stuck with him, and he wound up winning another Super Bowl. There's no indication they want to move off Mike Tomlin now.
Okay. There's no indication they're going to move off Mike Tomlin. And there was a report earlier in the day after Schefter said what he said this morning that the Steelers have, quote, no plans to move on from Mike Tomlin. And look, here's the reality. I'd be shocked if Mike Tomlin was actually available. But I laugh, and I'm even seeing it in some of the comments, on people thinking it'd be a dumb idea for the Jets to try and land Mike Tomlin. Let's give a couple facts here about Mike Tomlin. One, the man has never had a losing season in 18 years as a head coach, not once. He's been to the playoffs 12 times in 18 years. The New York Jets in their entire history have made the playoffs 14 times. And the last playoff game the Jets played was back in 2010 against Mike Tomlin and the Steelers. I remain very confused about the Mike Tomlin discourse that is out there. Pittsburgh's problem is not Mike Tomlin. Pittsburgh's problem is they don't have a quarterback who scares anyone. Mike Tomlin's supposed to go into Baltimore with Russell Wilson and beat the Ravens. Last year, Mike Tomlin's supposed to go into Buffalo and beat the Bills and Josh Allen with Mason Rudolph. Or the year before that, go into Kansas City with which quarterback? Who? You want to get on Mike Tomlin and say, hey, he hasn't won a playoff game in 8 seasons. Fine. That's fair. And if Pittsburgh feels like it's gotten stagnant there and they want to move on, just like Andy Reid and the Eagles moved on from one another, then fine. Please fire Mike Tomlin and make it easy for the New York Jets to offer the man a blank check to be the team's next head coach. You think Kansas City regrets immediately hiring Andy Reid? So I understand that it's unlikely that the Jets are going to be able to pull this off because I don't think Tomlin's going anywhere because the Rooney family is not going to move on from him. But he's got a no trade. And hypothetically speaking, if they were to consider it, don't you got a call? And I'll tell you what, I'm not reporting this, but I'm connecting the dots. I almost guarantee you the team that called, the one team Schefter said that already reached out last week about Tomlin's availability, I bet you it was the Jets. Mike Tannenbaum is involved in the search. He is a big leave no stones unturned kind of guy. They're going to do everything and evaluate all options. They're going to look into everything. That was always what Mike Tannenbaum would say to people on and off the record. I bet you he called, or he told Woody to call, or someone with the Jets to call the Roonies. I bet you the Jets were that team that inquired about Tomlin, and that was last week. Inquire again. See if anything changed. And if you got to trade for him, here's what I would trade. I'd trade my first-round pick in 2 seconds and not even think about it if they could get Mike Tomlin to coach the Jets. I wouldn't even think about it. The idea that Mike Tomlin somehow is overrated or wouldn't be worth it, wouldn't be worth one first-round pick when we have seen the history of this Jet franchise of drafting players, that you wouldn't give up one first-round pick in a draft that's not even that great compared to other ones. For a Hall of Fame coach, you're out of your mind if you wouldn't make that move. Oh, but Jake, the goal for the Jets is not to just get to the playoffs, it's to win a Super Bowl. Great. But you know what you have to do first? Get to the playoffs. You know what you have to do first? Win more than 7 games in a season, which hasn't happened in a decade. So I don't want to see any Jet fan out there, I'm already seeing it in the comments, try and belittle the idea of, the Jets are too good for Mike Tomlin. The Jets would be lucky if Mike Tomlin would even entertain the idea of coaching this team. So, look, if there's a team that inquired, I think it was the Jets. That team inquired last week, according to Schefter. I would inquire again. Make them say no. You wouldn't trade a first-round pick for Mike Tomlin? Are you kidding me? Okay, so we got stagnant in Pittsburgh. They can have a winning record, but they can't get far in the playoffs anymore. Boo-hoo. Feel terrible for the Steelers fans. Oh, my God, the horror. We'll take that with the Jets. Not having a losing season, not having to do draft talk in October. Are you kidding me? You know what that would do for the Jets? The instant credibility and respectability that man would bring to this team. Once again, it was over for Andy Reid. He couldn't win the Super Bowl. He couldn't win the big one in Philly. Came close, but couldn't get it done. He gets fired. Kansas City hired him immediately. If this is even a remote possibility, the New York Jets need to do everything in their power to try and get this done. And I don't think it's going to happen because I don't think Pittsburgh's dumb. That's the bottom line. I don't think they're going to move on from Tomlin. I think they're going to evaluate their season, and while I'm sure it's disappointing to be 10-3 and end the year losing 5 in a row, including a playoff game, I get it. I think when they look back and realize that they won games with Justin Fields and Russell Wilson, they're going to realize we did all we could. And I get it. You could criticize Tomlin. In these last 5 playoff games, they've been down 21-0, 28-0, 35-7, 28-0, 21-0. It's not a small sample size, and it dates back to 2017. I'll tell you what the quote-unquote concerns would be with Tomlin, but I'll worry about that if the Jets can actually get to a playoff game. I grew up, and the Jets would be playing this weekend a lot. All right? The last time the Jets played Wild Card Weekend, Peyton Manning was playing his last ever game as an Indianapolis Colt. That's how freaking long it's been. So please, before you try and tell me that the New York Jets are somehow too good to trade a draft pick for Mike Tomlin because he hasn't won a playoff game in a while, I mean, find a different show. Seriously. If you're going to thumb your nose at Mike Tomlin. Once again, the New York Jets in their history have made the playoffs 14 total times. Mike Tomlin has made the playoffs 12 times in 18 years as a head coach. I get it. He hasn't won a playoff game in a while. He hasn't won a Super Bowl in a while. Fine. All right? I might never see the Jets win a Super Bowl. I might not. But you know what I would like to see? Meaningful seasons, right? I'd sign for being competitive every year and having a chance. And eventually, if you knock on the door enough times, you do break it down. And even if it's not Tomlin who eventually gets them there, you don't think Mike Tomlin would have the Jets in a much better direction over the next 5 years than whoever they're going to hire right now, which we have no idea? You're going to tell me Aaron Glenn's a better option than Mike Tomlin? You're going to try and sell me on Brian Flores, who Mike Tomlin hired, by the way, after Miami fired him? You're going to sell me on Josh McCown, who's never even coordinated before? Or Rex Ryan, who hasn't coached in a decade? I mean, come on, people. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but if there's even a remote possibility that they'd listen, then you got to make those calls. With Mike Vrabel off the market now, no surprise, he ends up in New England. Where are you finding a surefire coach that you know is good? That's a program builder, culture setter, disciplinarian. And here's the thing, right? Mike Tomlin's a player's coach. See, there's an idea that if you're a player's coach, you're soft on players. No. Being a player's coach could also mean you have the respect of your players. And I feel like the New York Jets walked all over Robert Saleh and then Jeff Ulbrich. Like they liked them as human beings, but they didn't respect them. I think Mike Tomlin's someone that you want to play for. You respect him. Go listen to what Willie Colon has said about Mike Tomlin before. He played for both Rex Ryan and Tomlin. Go listen to my interview with Santonio Holmes on this show last year, talking about Mike Tomlin. So if there's even an opportunity to have this conversation, you got to reach out. You got to reach out, and you got to try and bring this guy in. Period. If it costs a first-round pick, this is the most obvious move one can make. One pick. That's it. That's all it takes. First rounder, I'm in. I mean, give me a break. The Jet fans out there thinking you're too good for Mike Tomlin. Have you seen what this franchise has been? First round pick in a draft that's not even great. And then you have a Hall of Fame coach? Yeah, where do I sign? Please. I had Zach Rosenblatt, Jets reporter for The Athletic, on my radio show today on ESPN New York. I asked him if he thinks the Jets would inquire about Mike Tomlin.
Yeah, I mean, it's the ultimate what-if question right now, and hypothetical, but I do. I think that they would absolutely be interested. I think they would make the call. The question would be, would he be willing to, number one, pay the money? Like Mike Tomlin already is one of the highest paid, and he probably would ask for more money if a team was trading like a first-round pick for him, and they also have to be willing to trade draft picks. But, I mean, that's, what we all talk about, and I'm sure you talk about it on your show all the time, is the Jets need a culture setter. They need somebody who's going to hold people accountable. They need somebody who can build a winner, has proven the ability to do that, I think. And so Tomlin is as good as it comes if he's available. But they wouldn't be the only team that would want him at the end of the day, too. Like, Mike Tomlin would have to want to choose the Jets. It's a two-way street. But yeah, to answer your question, yeah, I absolutely think they would be involved if that becomes a real thing.
I think they already were involved. I really think the Jets were the team that Schefter was talking about in the video I played at the top of the show. That sounds like a Tannenbaum thing. It just does. And hearing him on the radio today on ESPN New York on the show he does once a week on Sundays with Amani Toomer talk about Tomlin, I think it was the Jets. I do. And he's got a no trade. All right. Well, if he were interested in leaving, if Pittsburgh would consider it, you got to at least try. You got to at least try. I don't think he's going to be the Jet coach, but the idea that you wouldn't want him if you're a Jet fan, I mean, don't even get me started on that. Don't even get me started on that. Hit the like button if you're just tuning in. Comments, questions, super chats, cut the line. Reminder, raffle early this week. Full-sized helmet. If you gift the membership or send a $20 super chat, you're in. $20 super chat, 5 raffle tickets. And for every membership you gift, you get that amount of tickets entered in our giveaway. Huge shout out to everyone who supports the show on Patreon. The Discord was popping today. Patreon.com/Jake Asman Show. You gain access to that Discord. You get bonus shows that aren't on YouTube every month. 20% off all items in my merch store. Your name in the intro and a whole lot more. Some comments here. Let's get to them. Anthony says, clickbait Jake assface. Couple things here, Anthony. One, screw you. Two, there's nothing clickbait about Adam Schefter saying that a team inquired about Tomlin. So go screw.
Just shut the fuck up. I did not ask for the damn opinion that came out of your ass. So shut the fuck up.
NYJ Eternal writes in, Jake, what happened to Vrabel? Weren't you talking about him being as good as Parcells no more than 4 days ago? Here's what I never said, NYJ Eternal, that Mike Vrabel is Parcells. Never said that. Find me the tape that says I did. Farewell.
F you. F you. F you too.
I'll say this about Vrabel. It is incredibly disappointing that he ends up in New England. Of course, the Patriots luck out that no one hired the most obvious candidate a year ago when he's just there for the taking to go back to his old team. It's a sham what they did with the interview process circumventing the Rooney Rule, but they get away with it because it's the Patriots. New England, Robert Kraft. I could do no wrong. Let me go to another massage parlor. It's such a joke, man. But I'm not surprised. It would have been too easy for Vrabel to be a Jet. Too easy. But it is what it is. It is what it is. Now the Jets have to get these hires right. It's just a lot harder to get it right. You knew Mike Vrabel was a really good coach. And now he goes to a team that you're going to face twice a year. Sucks. Story Lynn with a super chat. Thank God for no Vrabel, no Patriots allowed, like I said. Jake, we don't want Tomlin, a.k.a. Mr. Super Mid every year. Please rehire Rex. This is exactly what I'm talking about. You want to rehire Rex, and you have the audacity to call Mike Tomlin Mr. Super Mid every year. Farewell. I mean, honestly, Story Lynn, I appreciate the super chat. I do. This is borderline hole worthy, but I'll be nice.
All the pieces come together in a season, it can be absolute perfection, folks, because that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking the Jets, led by Zach Wilson, will fucking suck ass, guys.
I mean, hire Rex, but you're going to call Mike Tomlin mid. Mid. The man has never had a losing season. You know how hard that is to do? It's not like he always had Big Ben either. He's had winning years the last couple of years with Mason Rudolph and Kenny Pickett, and this year Justin Fields and Russell Wilson. And look at the division he's playing in. Joe Burrow is watching these games on the couch like we are this weekend. The guy is MVP stats, but he couldn't make the playoffs. Mike Tomlin with, 10% the level of quarterback this year than Burrow, got his team to the playoffs. I mean, oh my God, man. That is one of the dumbest super chats I have ever seen. You bring in Tomlin, and you have a culture builder and a chance to be competitive every year, and maybe a change of scenery would be good for him, the same way it was for Andy Reid. Just an idea, though. Hit the like button if you're tuning in. Comments, questions, super chats. We'll cut the line. Isaac writes in, that was one of the most wild super chats I've ever seen. I've seen a lot of dumb super chats. I've been doing this a long time. But that was up there with the dumbest of dumb. Super chat from the big fella. No way I'm giving up a first for Tomlin. Rather roll with Flores or Glenn. Tomlin is the NFL version of Doc Rivers. One chip early, none since. You realize how hard it is to win another Super Bowl, big fella? Calling him Doc Rivers is crazy to me. All these people saying you want to roll the dice with these guys that have never done it before over a guy who, at the bare minimum, is going to have you in the playoffs almost every year. You're going to have a winning season, something the Jets have not done in a decade. A decade. This team has not won more games than they've lost in a season in 10 years. And you're going to tell me Mike Tomlin wouldn't be worth one first-round pick? How many first-round picks have the Jets used that have sucked? One pick. If the Jets had Mike Tomlin coaching them this year, they're in the playoffs right now. I'm not live right now. I'm probably watching the Jets on TV. Right now. Please. Tyrone checks in. Playoffs are missing Aaron and the Jets. I thought this would be the year, but the football gods hate us. Dirty Ray checks in with a super chat. Last time the Jets were good, I was in 8th grade. I'll take Tomlin for a first easily. Yeah, man. Think about how much fun it would be to play meaningful games every year. And maybe if you gave Mike Tomlin a real quarterback, he'd actually be able to win with that guy again. It's crazy to me that people don't universally think it's worth it. By the way, I don't even know if it would cost a first. But if you don't think a coach matters, I mean, come on now. How's it working out for Sean Payton? You don't think it was worth it for Denver to trade for him? How'd it work out for the Patriots when they traded for Belichick? How'd it work out for, I don't know, John Gruden in the Bucs when they traded for him? By the way, can we interview John Gruden, Woody? Can we? Can we please? Just saying, Pete Carroll is out there too doing interviews with 2 other teams. You can't talk to a guy? We're going to talk to Mike Loxley, but we can't sit down with Pete? We can't sit down with Gruden? NYC writes in, how did the Pats hire Vrabel without interviewing minorities to be compliant with the Rooney Rule? They did interview minorities. That's the problem. They brought in Pep Hamilton and Byron Leftwich on the same day for their token, hey, you're black, let's interview you interview. They put him on the same graphic when they announced they interviewed him. I mean, the just total disregard for the Rooney Rule by the Patriots. And look, I'm someone who believes if you want to hire Mike Vrabel, that's your right to hire him. But, like, have some shame, New England. And how shameless the Diana Rossinis of the world are covering for them and not talking about it. It's insane. The only guy in the national media that I think has done a great job calling out the bullshit, because that's what it is, and I could say that word on this show, unlike what I said today on the radio, calling out the absolute sham of an interview process has been Albert Breer. That's it. I gained a lot of respect for Albert Breer during all this. Everyone else, I mean, geez, what a joke. Joseph says, this is a wasted topic. I don't see anyone criticizing Tomlin. I see everyone saying he's not available and would never come if he was. Joseph, go and type in Mike Tomlin on Twitter and see what you see. All right? Find me a Steeler fan that likes Mike Tomlin right now. You can't. You can't. Go listen to what Kyle Brandt said on Good Morning Football today, or whatever the Sunday show is on NFL Network with Rich Eisen and all them. Steelers fans want him gone. They do. Don't tell me this is a wasted topic. Adam Schefter said there's a team that called and inquired. I believe that team is the Jets. And I think the Jets should keep calling and put some pressure on Pittsburgh to think about it. Another brain-dead comment from NYJ Eternal. Aaron Glenn is better than Mike Tomlin. Right. Because Aaron Glenn, who's only been a defensive coordinator in his life, is better than a guy who's won a Super Bowl, been to a second, and has never had a losing season in 18 years. NYJ Eternal, your day is thankfully over.
Now look what you've done. No more protection from the Asmaniacs. Had to pull you out of the chat and cast you down with the Sodomites. Some time in here will feel like you've been run over by the lane train. You understand me? You catch my drift? Give them another 24 hours to think about it.
So we got a lot of stupidity out there tonight. It's going to be one of those shows, isn't it? I debated doing one of these, but with how bad the games were, I'm like, I got to do something. I got to be productive today. Did the radio show this morning. Thanks to all the Asmaniacs who listened. And now we're doing this. Super chat from Alan who writes in, I'd give up way more than a first from Tomlin, and he could pick his GM, turn over every rock. I agree, man. I agree. I don't even know, by the way, if it would cost a first-round pick. Right? Because the 7th pick in the draft is probably, way more valuable. Not when people say first-round pick, not all firsts are created equal. There's a difference in a top 10 pick and a pick in the teens, right? They have the charts that they do that, calculate the point value of each pick. But how badly do I want Mike Tomlin? Bad enough that I would trade a top 7 pick for the guy. Name me the player the Jets are taking at number 7 that will impact the Jets more going forward than Mike Tomlin. Name me that player. The Jets knocked it out of the park with the 4th pick and the 10th pick a few years ago, and they still suck. What are we doing? I feel like I'm on crazy pills here. They knocked it out of the park with the 4th pick and the 10th pick, and we're still ass. I'll take Mike Tomlin, who I could coach. Is he perfect? No. Is he Vince Lombardi? No. But is he a really good coach that guys respect? That is a program builder? Absolutely. You think Kansas City regretted hiring Andy Reid immediately when he was available? Come on, man. No one's making Mike Tomlin out to be the best coach in the league, but he's certainly in that conversation. He's a top 10 coach in football. The Jet record with Mike Tomlin this year, I could promise you, is not 5-12. It's probably 12-5. Seriously. I mean, to see people thumbing their nose at Mike Tomlin and you root for the Jets, give me a break. Hit the like button if you're just tuning in. Comments, questions, super chats. We'll cut the line. If you're tuning in late, I played the video. Adam Schefter reporting that a team reached out last week to inquire about Mike Tomlin. That team was told Tomlin has a full no trade. Schefter saying he doesn't believe Pittsburgh would move on from Tomlin, but that was, things change, right? There's a lot of pressure coming out of Pittsburgh for them to do something. I don't think he's going anywhere personally, but I'm just saying, with Vrabel officially gone, if I'm the Jets, I'm trying to do everything possible to get Tomlin. I just am. Hit that like button if you're just tuning in. V-Man says, I'll take a pine cone over Tomlin. V-Man, I'd love for you to call in and explain to me how Mike Tomlin you don't want, but you would take a pine cone. I'd love to hear this. I'm sure you're going to have a lot of coherent and salient points arguing why Mike Tomlin is somehow a bad coach. Let's find out.
It's time for another V-Man call. Hopefully he no sleeping. Adios mio.
That's easy. Look, we're talking about an organization like the Steelers that from 1992 to 2010 made 8 AFC title games. They won 4 of them, and they clinched 2 Super Bowls and had a .583 postseason win percentage in that span of time. I mean, so they're an organization that holds themselves to a high standard. Meanwhile, you look at what the Steelers have been since that 2010 season. They've been terrible. They've won 3 playoff games, and mind you, 2017 season.
Did you just say a team that has never had a losing record since
Can
2010?
I finish? Can I finish?
Terrible. No. Did you just say they've been terrible?
Can I finish?
You did. No. You know what's been terrible? See the logo of the team on your shirt? That team has been terrible because since 2010, how many winning seasons have the Jets had?
I'm talking about by the standard of the Steelers.
Okay, sorry they can't win the Super Bowl every year, V-Man. Oh my God.
No, but let me finish. Let me finish, okay? Those playoff losses are his fault. Jacksonville, 2017. What was he saying in that press conference when they asked him about how you getting ready for the Jags? You know what he said? He ignored it and was talking about getting hyped up for the rematch against New England. He completely let the Steelers fall asleep against the Jaguars team that had beaten them earlier in the season, and then he gets his mouth. He gets punched in the fucking mouth by the by the Jaguars, and he knew they were able to beat him, but because he thought they were beneath him, he completely fell asleep and let himself get bitch slapped by them. And then 2020, what did Juju Smith-Schuster say before the game against the Cleveland Browns, the playoff game? What remember the comment? Do you remember the comment?
No.
The Browns is the Browns. The Browns is the Browns. And what happened? They got their doors blown off by the Cleveland Browns. I mean, you're talking about a guy who was about to tie Marvin Lewis for most consecutive playoff losses.
V-Man.
There are flaws. Look, I'm not saying he's a bad coach.
No,
but
that's exactly
flawed.
what you're saying.
He is flawed.
You said you would take a pine cone over Tomlin. Of course, he's not perfect, V-Man, but your take on the Jacksonville loss, that was a terrible loss in 2017. Of course.
And he deserves full blame.
Okay.
Why do you want a coach that's going to come in here and if he's doing that with Pittsburgh, you think he's going to have this team ready? If he's doing that against a team like the Jaguars, you think he's the head coach of the Jets?
Now do Andy Reid's resume in Philly.
You think if he is the head coach of the Steelers and he's going into a game against the Jaguars, if you think he let his team fall asleep against the Jaguars, I mean, you got a former Pittsburgh scout coming out and attacking him right now, saying he did not have his team ready against the Ravens.
Oh, give me a break. V-Man, you're going to bring up one bad game, which we can go through every great coach's resume and find a game where their team was not ready.
Game. It's a constant theme with Tomlin.
It's not a constant theme.
It is a constant theme whenever.
No, it's not. No, it's not, V-Man. No, it's not.
Is.
The last 3 years, Mike Tomlin, was he supposed to go into Kansas City and win in 21? Was he supposed to go into Buffalo and win in 22? Was he supposed to go out there and win last night with Russell Wilson against the MVP of the league and Lamar Jackson? You want to say they're not prepared or these games should be more competitive? Fine, I'll listen. But don't sit here and tell me that Mike Tomlin is somehow a bad coach, which is what you're saying when you said you take a pine cone over Tomlin. You're talking about his history since 2010. Look at your own team's history since 2010. They don't have a history. Their history is trash, garbage, no winning seasons besides one, and they didn't even make the playoffs that year. So please, calm down and recognize you could do a lot worse than Mike Tomlin. Have you watched Robert Saleh coach? Did you watch Todd Bowles coach? Did you watch the end of Rex Ryan? And we had a guy earlier write in, don't go after Tomlin, bring back Rex because Tomlin's mid. I feel like I'm taking crazy pills, man. Crazy
All
pick.
right. I'm going to explain to you. Mike Tomlin is the same exact. Steelers fans look at Mike Tomlin the same way Yankees fans look at Brian Cashman.
Well, guess what? I don't want Cashman fired or Boone. I don't. They were just in the World Series, V-Man. And we're going to fire them? You can't win every year. It's hard to win.
Yeah, but like I said, you're holding a team to a higher standard. Like the Yankees and Steelers are teams that are held to higher standards.
It's
and
harder to win in football than it is baseball.
The other thing you remember with Tomlin, whenever he thinks a team is underneath him, he doesn't prepare for them. Whenever he thinks a team is underneath him, because that is a common theme with the Steelers. They constantly play down to competition. Whenever he feels a team is beneath him, he does not prepare. And that is a constant theme. Like, should he have lost? Like, how the hell did he lose to Zach Wilson when Zach Wilson was fucking trash?
Well, okay. Once again, if you go through every team, you'll find a bad loss in there. Now, I will bring up
it's a constant
who's his
trend.
quarterback,
When
V-Man.
it is a
How did he lose to
constant
Zach Wilson? Kenny Pickett and Mitch Trubisky played that day. That's how. That's how.
When it is a constant trend that he loses, the Steelers' shtick is they get constantly bailed out by high-end talent. Everyone says they don't have the same toughness.
They don't have a quarterback. What are you talking about?
It's nothing to do with the quarterback. It's the defense.
Okay, man. Who do you want to be the head coach? Who do you want to be the head coach? Who should be the coach of the Jets?
I'll take Flores. I'll take Glenn both over him.
And when that guy is fired in 5 years and Mike Tomlin's still coaching the Steelers and winning every year, you call back, all right?
And you want to know what? Like I said, why do I want a coach whose fan base wants his head on a pike?
That's if you listen to only the fans, that is not the best way to evaluate someone's resume. That's silly. You brought up the Yankee example. I'm a Yankee fan telling you I don't agree with the mob that they should fire Aaron Boone after going to the World Series. I don't agree with that. Like, come on, man. Oh, because Steelers fans want him out, that means they're right? No, it means they're spoiled. That's what that means. It means they're spoiled.
That means you hold your team to a higher standard.
Okay, so I hope they fire him. And then the Jets can give Mike Tomlin a second chance to turn it around like the Chiefs did for Andy Reid. And Andy Reid never even won a Super Bowl. Mike Tomlin did. He went to 2 of them. Andy Reid only went to 1 in Philadelphia. And then all of a sudden, he gave Andy Reid the quarterback. Look what he did. Mike Tomlin has not had a quarterback since Ben retired.
Tie Marvin Lewis for playoff futility. You want the guy who's about to tie Marvin Lewis for playoff futility.
Marvin Lewis and Mike Tomlin aren't even in the same category, man. Mike Tomlin's won a Super Bowl. He's won a Super Bowl. Marvin Lewis has never been past the first round of the postseason. It's not the same thing. You can't ignore the Super Bowl.
How is it not the same thing when you both are about to tie? When he's about to tie him for the record for most consecutive?
Because he's around every year. Marvin Lewis got fired because his team never won. Mike Tomlin's proven he could win. He doesn't have a quarterback.
Yeah, because he won with Bill Cowher's roster.
Oh my God. So we're just gonna act like Mike Tomlin has never had any success outside the beginning of his tenure. Okay, he hasn't won that second Super Bowl, but you can't sit here and try and argue that a pine cone would be a better option than Mike Tomlin. Did you just watch Robert Saleh and Jeff Ulbrich? Also, what would the Jet record be this year if Mike Tomlin was coaching them, man? What do you think it would be?
I don't.
I'll tell you what, it'd be a winning record, something they haven't done in a decade because,
and then what are we going to do with it? And then you get blown out in the playoffs.
I don't know. Maybe if Aaron Rodgers was the quarterback last night instead of Russell Wilson, they'd have a better chance. Just saying. Maybe they would with real coaching.
No, they waved the white flag well before that, like before even the coin toss. I could tell you, it's like they collapsed. That's on coaching. Like that is on coaching.
They were a 10-point road underdog. Like
but like I said, they were 10-3.
All right, I got it, man. Pine cone for head coach. God bless.
That's the end of this V-Man call. Time for him to get back to pooping.
Pine cone for coach. Got it. All right. Where the Jets have announced they've interviewed a pine cone. He is now the favorite to he or she or it, they, them, is now the favorite to get the job. Jesus. Good Lord, man. Good debate, man. I give you credit for holding your own, but give me a break. Pine cone over Tomlin. Big fella, super chat. Thank you for doing the show tonight. We disagree on Tomlin for a first, but I respect your opinion. Lots of talent at 7. All right, then I'll trade. I'll trade every other pick in my draft, and we could keep the 7th overall pick. It doesn't matter. The draft picks don't matter. The Jets have talent, and they still suck. How many first rounders have they hit on the last several years? And they still suck. Why? They don't have a coach. They don't have a culture. They don't have a coaching staff. They don't have an infrastructure. These are all things that we wanted Vrabel for. It's Mike Tomlin. He's won a Super Bowl. He's been a head coach for 18 years and never once had a losing year. I would understand the criticism of Tomlin more if he had a great quarterback and was not winning. He's not supposed to go into Buffalo with Mason Rudolph and win last year. That's not happening. How'd Bo Nix do it today? Started great, and then guess what? The Bills do what they're supposed to do against a team they're an 8.5-point road or home favorite against. That was Tomlin in the Steelers last night. Dre checks in. It seems like the mental abuse taken by Jet fans is starting to affect people's intellect. I would trade my only son and a kidney with my first and second. Amen. Storylin, good points on Tomlin, but how many times are the Steelers going to win 9 games, first round loss, Steelers have home field advantage and cheat? Got to be a record. 2 super chats, 2 trips to Stupid Town within the span of 36 minutes. I mean, come on, Storylin. Are you serious? How do the Steelers cheat? They won 10 games this year with below average to average quarterback play. The year before, Mike Tomlin with 3 different quarterbacks got that team to the playoffs. Like, come on, man. All right. Maybe it's gotten stagnant. Maybe there's things he needs to do differently there. I don't watch every snap of every game of the Steelers like I do with the Jets. But I can tell you this. Grass ain't always greener on the other side if you're a Steeler fan who wants Mike Tomlin gone. How many times are the Steelers going to win 9 games? As if that's bad. Have you watched the Jets play football? 9 games. We haven't seen that in 9 years. Almost 10. God, man. T-Town in on the raffle. Gifted a channel membership. Thank God. T-Town, thank you. Let's find out who got your channel membership here shortly. Oh, my God. We got 640 of you in here right now. Appreciate it. Hit the like. A little Sunday show. Wasn't going to do it, but there's too much to talk about to not do one. Jeffrey R. has gifted, how about this, a 5 spot of channel memberships. Let's go, baby. 5 more entries in the raffle.
It's the Asmaniac Membership Raffle. For every membership gifted, you receive 1 ticket entered in the raffle to win epic prizes.
Here's what I'm seeing for memberships from Jeffrey R. here. Alan, he retired, but he still can watch every show and comment incessantly. Amazing how that works. Dicker the Kicker, Yeti, the Big Fella, Bino, all received channel memberships there from Jeffrey R. Fantastic. Jeffrey, thank you. We'll get you down for another 5. For those tuning in late, you gift the membership or send in a $20 super chat, and you're entered in the raffle. $20 super chat, get you 5 raffle entries, and then you'll have a chance to win. I'm thinking we're going to do the raffle either tomorrow or Tuesday. So this is one of the last shows you have to be entered. Full-size jet helmet, grand prize. Also, the second prize, I should have mentioned this earlier, but if you've been watching the show this week, you know I acquired another New York Jets Super Bowl III Joe Willie Namath replica ring. So if you want the Super Bowl ring, that is up for grabs as well. By the way, today is the 56th anniversary of the Jets' Super Bowl III win over the Baltimore Colts. 56 years ago today, the New York Jets were world champions. And if we listen to V-Man, we'll never see it again. Pine cone for head coach. Rizzo in, why does McCarthy get ripped but Tomlin gets defended? Well, I mean, it depends on what you're viewing McCarthy through the prism of. I'm not ripping McCarthy. I thought he did a good job this year. I thought Dallas made the right move bringing him back. McCarthy gets ripped because the expectations for the Cowboys are higher than the Steelers. 1, they play in the NFC. 2, Dak is better than any quarterback Tomlin's had the last 5 years since Roethlisberger retired. That's why. And also, it's the Cowboys. There's more attention on them than the Steelers, even though the Steelers are, a legacy franchise too. It's just different with the Cowboys. Jeffrey R., he's in on the raffle for another 5, baby. Let's go. Let's see who got these from Jeffrey. Only 170 likes and 608 of you are in here. Something is not adding up. The math is not mathing. Click the like button. Steve Smith, channel member. Franklin Fung, channel member. Mr. Roberts, channel member. Stephen T, channel member. Tommy Scuderi, channel member. Welcome, welcome, welcome to all our new members. I'm going to get to more of your calls here coming up. Appreciate everyone supporting the show. Let's how about Gator writing this in? Gator's down bad. We'll probably just suck forever. I don't have any hope. Man, if you lost Gator, Jets, you've lost the fan base. That's sad. More of your calls right now. The Hamburger's up next. What's up, Hamburger?
Hey, what's up, Jake? How you doing, man? Happy Sunday.
Happy Sunday.
I don't know. V-Man's got to relax, man. Smashing his head. He's going to cause some more brain damage. I don't know, man. He was freaking out.
I'm going to mail him a pine cone. It'll be okay.
Listen, man, whoever thinks that Tomlin is not a good idea is absolutely out of their mind. I mean, the guy's a winning coach. He always wins. He's had terrible quarterback play. We haven't won in over a decade. We haven't had a winning season. Like, let's be real. The guy is a fantastic coach. Yeah, he might not win a lot, like in the playoffs, but guess what? He has shit quarterback play. He has nobody. So I'm all in, man. If we can get Tomlin, sign me up. 100%. I want him. I want him. They're always winning. They always have a winning season. I want a winning season for once in the last 10 years. It's ridiculous.
You need talent to win. I see this comment here from Leon that's spot on. Mike Vrabel, who I think is a really good coach. I really do. I wanted the Jets to get him. Everyone knows he was my number one guy. He was 13-21 his last 2 years in Tennessee. Well, Tannehill was hurt. A.J. Brown got traded. The talent dipped. And all of a sudden, it's hard to have a winning season every year. And Mike Tomlin still was able to do it. So I'm not telling you he's perfect, but the guy's a winner, a culture changer. And you know what? I'd love to have the problem 5 years from now that the Jets are good, but they're not good enough. Right? I'd love to have that problem. We're winning too many games in the regular season, and we're not going far enough in the playoffs. I would love to have that problem.
I'll sign up for that problem right now. 100%. 100%. So, fine. Gabrielle wants to do a handstand for you guys.
All right.
Go ahead. Oh, yeah. Ready, Gabrielle?
Look at that. Oh. Tremendous, Gabrielle. Love it.
There you go. Pick it back over. Can you make it? Go.
No, not yet.
Go ahead. Oh, come on, get it over. There you go.
Hey, very good. Well done, Gabrielle. Yes. Also, great setup, Hamburger. Love the man cave down there.
Thank you, man. Thank you. Well, we're going to watch America's Funniest Home Videos and get the kids to bed, and I got to work, so I appreciate it, man. Thank you for coming on tonight and entertaining all of us and talking Jet football.
Hamburger, you're the best. Appreciate it. Shout out to Gabrielle, the real star of the Hamburger family, of course. I think this is new right here from Jeffrey. Jeffrey, 5-spot, channel memberships. Again, holy Jeffrey. Ladies and gentlemen, 5 more memberships have been gifted. This from Jeffrey. The names are as followed. Jared, you're over the top. John G, Orlando G, all receiving channel memberships. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Mimosa in the house. I'd give all our 2025 picks for Tomlin. I probably would too. Get the coach figured out for one draft, and then you build from there. I'm in. Mimosa, thank you. That's 5 more raffle tickets for you as well. Mimosa, I think, has won like every raffle that she's participated in. So we'll find out if she's going to win again later this week. Rich writes in, am I concerned that the Jets might sign Grigson as GM? Yeah, I don't want him. I'm not a Ryan Grigson guy. I know the overall record is good, but his drafts aren't great. He had Andrew Luck, and he screwed that up. He never built an offensive line for the guy. The one positive with the Jets is they already have a pretty good O-line in place, but that's not always going to be the case. Yeah, I mean, he's been connected to Flores. Like it's Flores, McCown with Grigson as the GM. If they could get Flores without Grigson, I'd like it. I don't love Grigson and Flores as the combo, though. I don't want Grigson. I want Borgonzi if we're going to hire a first-time GM, or I want Thomas Dimitrov, who was actually the first candidate they spoke to. I want him to be the GM. Ladies and gentlemen, Jeffrey R. is making it rain membership. If you haven't gotten a membership yet, here's what you need to do. You need to make sure you are subscribed to the channel and hit the like button. And you need to make sure that you have gifted memberships as an option on. If you don't know how to do that, click on Jeffrey's name in the live chat and turn it on in your settings. Rock Benz, Captain Kebbles, Devin McNamara, Rob Basil, Andre Kelly, all receiving channel memberships. All right, let's hit on some of your calls here. The last game of the nightcap here, Bucks Commanders just underway, so I'm watching that in front of me as we talk a little Jets here on a Sunday night. Let's say hello to Anthony, who's next. What's up, Anthony?
Hey, what's up, Jake? How are you, brother?
How are you, Anthony? What do you got for us?
Can't complain, man. You know what? To be honest with you, half of these Jets fans that are talking don't know football. I'm going to be honest with you. They really don't know football. The dude that was sitting there with the Jet shirt on before, he doesn't look like he ever was shaped to even play the game of football. So he just don't know what he's talking about. I'd give up half the team to get Mike Tomlin. Okay? Mike Tomlin did it with two quarterbacks that were trash last year on different teams. Imagine what he would do with a Hall of Fame quarterback. Okay, we have a good line. We have good receivers. He'd make the defense better off top. He'd bring in a staff that knows what they're doing. It's a win-win just to have Tomlin. And he said that Mike Tomlin is considered Cashman. That's two different positions. Cashman still don't coach the team. He just goes and gets the players.
100%. 100%. It's not the same thing at all. And also, I think it's harder to win in football than it is in baseball. One, there's more teams.
It's a lot harder to win in football than it is in baseball. There's a lot less games. You could mess up a lot more in baseball and still have a chance to get back. Football, after 6 weeks, if you have a losing season, it's over.
Also, it's single elimination in the playoffs. Like, it's hard. It's really hard to win. Baseball, you play a series, typically, not always, but typically the better team does win. So you just have a higher percentage chance to win in that sport than you do football anyway.
100%. If Tomlin comes in, I think our misery will be over for a little bit. Just for a little bit.
Look, I don't think he's going to be traded because I don't think the Steelers are dumb enough to do it. But Schefter said a team called, which means you got to keep calling if you're the Jets. I think the Jets were the team that called personally. I'm not reporting that. That's just me connecting the dots. So I call again and make them say no. Make them think about it. They called last week. Now they lost in the playoffs. Maybe they're emotional. Maybe they'd listen. You got to at least try.
Of course they would listen. Who wouldn't listen? You give every single pick. You give them every single pick because just like you said, there's nothing at 7. What are we gonna get? Another D lineman?
I mean, there might be a good player, but like my point is, like that good player is not going to help you win more games than Mike Tomlin over the next 5 years.
No, because if there's no good coach to coach that good player, that's a wasted pick.
The Jets have hit on the 4th pick, the 10th pick. They hit on Will McDonald. They hit on Olu at number 11. It doesn't matter. They still suck. They got to get a coach, and Mike Tomlin's a winner.
If there's no one to coach him, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. We had Robert Saleh, who we were happy about the hire because at the time he was the best one out there. But if Mike Tomlin's available, you go get him. You go grab him. You give your stadium away to get him.
I agree. The fact that there's a decent portion of Jet fans who don't want him, it's crazy to me. It's like, have you watched the Jets football?
Because a lot of Jet fans are they're just so used to losing. They want to just keep losing. You just get you do what you got to do to get a guy like that. To get 100%. Him get him in the building. You just get him in the building and you don't let him leave. Mike Vrabel,
he's got a no trade. So I don't even know if he'd want to come here. He might be like, I don't want to deal with the Jets. No thanks. There'll be other teams that reach out, but at least you try. That's the whole point. You try.
That's all you got to do is try. That's it. That's all you do is try. That will give me the feeling that, okay, Woody wants to try to win.
I agree. Anthony, good call, man. I will say this about Anthony. He kind of has a little Boy Green to him. That beard. Right? Boy Green-esque beard. Mike writes in, Jake needs a vacation. Dude has lost his mind. How have I lost my mind for wanting a Hall of Famer to coach? This is what I mean. I have not lost my mind, Mike. You have lost your mind. I don't even think Mike Tomlin's realistic because I don't think the Steelers would trade him. But I'm just playing you what Adam Schefter said, that a team called, and he has a no trade. Keep calling. Steelers fans want him gone. Maybe they'd listen to the fans who are going nuts. Andy Reid got fired. Belichick got fired. Mike Tomlin could be fired too. Or he at least could be traded. I don't need any vacation. You know what I need? I need the Jets to get it right. And I have no faith in them getting it right with any of these other guys out there. I know Mike Tomlin, at the bare minimum, would have this team competitive every year because that's his history over 18 years.
You are by far the dumbest, most pathetic piece of maggot-eating shit that has ever slid from a human being's hairy ass.
I mean, please, what are we talking about here? Seventh pick in the draft, and a draft that's not even an elite draft. It's not like we're passing on getting a quarterback. This is not having the first or second pick, and you could get, a Cam Ward or Shedeur Sanders. They're not picking that high. It's the seventh pick. You think Mike Tomlin would ever have a team commit 16 penalties in a game like the immortal Jeff Ulbrich did this year? I mean, geez. V-Man is back with more. V-Man, thank you. Harry Truman had on his desk the buck stops here plaque. As much as you want to blame the roster, accountability ultimately falls on the head coach. V-Man, if you want to put some of the losses on Tomlin, that's fine. I thought the Jaguar loss was terrible back in 2017, the Bortles. But that doesn't mean Mike Tomlin is still not a good coach. Was Bill Belichick a bad coach because he lost to Rex Ryan and Mark Sanchez in 2010? That happened. Like, you coach long enough, it's going to happen. It just is. That's life. There's no perfect candidate. This guy is good, though. The buck does stop with him. But ultimately, you can only go as far as your roster. He was a 10-point underdog last night. The Steelers were not supposed to win that game. I thought it'd be more competitive. I'd be the first to tell you that. Maybe it has gone stale in Pittsburgh. Maybe it is time for them to try something different. But that doesn't mean Mike Tomlin wouldn't serve the Jets well. Just like Philly moved on from Andy Reid. Yeti says, name me 5 head coaches that are currently employed after 10 years. Think about it. Tomlin's a winner. He's been a coach for 18 years and has never once had a losing season. You know how hard that is? Mike Vrabel, who I think is really good, was 13-21 over his last 2 years? The great Kyle Shanahan had a losing season this year. I get it. They haven't done anything in the playoffs, but that's not nothing. We can't just dismiss that, especially if you're a Jet fan. You don't know what a winning season looks like. You haven't seen it. I got Connor Long on Twitter trying to tell me that the Jets shouldn't go after Tomlin. Kid, you're 13. You weren't alive when they even had a winning season. Forget the playoffs. I don't even know if Connor Long was a thought in his parents' mind back in 2010, the last time the Jets were even in the playoffs. He doesn't want Mike Tomlin. I mean, what are we doing? Omari says, Tomlin thrives in these stable environments like Pittsburgh and has never had to face a true rebuild as the Steelers are always competitive. He's the reason why they're always competitive. It's never bottomed out. He's a victim of his own success. That's why they've never been picking high enough to get one of these quarterbacks in the top 10. Think about that. We can't all, Mike Tomlin couldn't get his Joe Burrow. How would Mike Tomlin be if he had Joe Burrow? If they were just bad for 1 year, they tanked and they got Burrow, like what Cincinnati did. I mean, look at the numbers Burrow put up this year. He's watching the same game we are right now. All weekend. You need a quarterback, man. But then if you have the coach, you need the quarterback. If you have the quarterback, you still need a coach. Aaron Rodgers had one of the better statistical seasons a Jet quarterback's ever had. They won 5 games. Jeffrey R. is back with another 5 spot of channel memberships for the people. Ladies and gentlemen, Jeffrey R. is single-handedly all in to try and win the raffle tomorrow.
Now, give me money. Or I shoot him. And I shoot all you motherfuckers. And then we take it. Your choice, bitches.
Ladies and gentlemen, the following 5 memberships from Jeffrey R. Limitless NYC, Rookie JJJ, Here for the Memes, TJ Buttergrit, and Lane Gretzky, all receiving a channel membership. Welcome, welcome, welcome. V-Man writes in, I'll take the Pete Ham route if we get Tomlin. I'm sending you a pine cone. I don't even get what this reference is. But I'm sending you a pine cone with a Jake Asman Show logo on it, V-Man. Rick Gordon says, we have passionate fans who are a little crazy. I'm crazy. I'm a Jet fan. I'm nuts. But I think it's crazy to just miss the idea of a Hall of Fame coach who in 18 years has never once had a winning season, when the Jets haven't had a winning season in a decade, haven't been to the playoffs in 14 years, bringing that guy in to stabilize things. Look what the Chiefs did with Andy Reid. What was their record after Andy Reid got there the year before? 2012 Kansas City Chiefs. Let's see. They were 2-14, and then the 2013 Kansas City Chiefs, I believe that was Andy Reid's first year, they were 11-5. Man, must be nice to have a coach. Must be nice. And did they run Andy Reid out of town because he wasn't winning Super Bowls with Alex Smith? He was just making the playoffs? No. They eventually figured it out, and they made their move for Mahomes, and it worked. That's honestly what the Steelers have to do, too, if they keep Tom. But the problem is, it's not a good quarterback class. So where are you getting your quarterback? Maybe it's Aaron Rodgers. Watch, the Jets will let Rodgers go to Pittsburgh, and then all of a sudden they'll start winning. And then all the people who didn't want Mike Tomlin are going to have to sit there and watch it next year. That's typical Jet luck right there. Julio, Tomlin needs to take a year off. No, he needs to coach the Jets is what he needs to do, actually. That's what he needs to do. Rob V says, I cannot take this Rabel Tomlin nonsense. It's not happening. If it does, we'll revisit it. Rob, kindly find a different show. Seriously, if you can't take it, find a different show. I'm not paying you to be here. Go. Leave. I'm good. The 505 people watching live right now, if we're down to 504, we'll be okay. But if you don't think I'm going to talk about this, when you have the lead NFL insider on ESPN today saying a team inquired about Tomlin, and I believe it to be the Jets, I don't know what to tell you. This is a story. Until Pittsburgh officially comes out and says Mike Tomlin's staying, I'm simply saying the Jets should call and check in. I didn't think I'd spend this much time on it. I thought we'd be talking more about the interviews this week with the Jets and the GM search and all that. But no. We're not, unfortunately, because there's an enormous amount of pushback to this, which is wild. Ladies and gentlemen, more of your calls right now. I know exactly what we need. All right? We need someone that has strong opinions. We need someone that has unique perspective on things. We need the Chiefs fan right now.
It's Chiefs fan. Guess what? I'm still looking for a job, bitches. It's Chiefs fan. I'm just going to rub my hands together all day. It's Chiefs fan. There's a whole lot of DNA on this couch. Let's hear it for Chiefs fan. Look, it's my dead neighbor that I didn't kill.
Okay, I don't know if you saw it in Streamlabs or whatever we're using right now. V-Man means the S word. That's what Pete Ham did to himself.
Well, congrats to Pete Ham on pooping himself.
No, the other word that means take yourself out.
He killed himself?
Yeah. Jake, damn it. Yes, basically.
V-Man, if you're going to kill yourself over the Jets hiring a Hall of Fame head coach, I'd recommend you see a therapist immediately. Continue, Chiefs fan.
Fucking right. Sorry for the language. There's no reason to do that.
Thank you, Chiefs fan. I agree.
I thought Andy Reid was going to turn us into shit, but look what happened. Look what happened with my team.
I've referenced your team many times tonight.
I would love to see Tomlin. I've even joked about how you could. I was a little bit tipsy making jokes last night. Aaron Rodgers for Tomlin and a second-round draft pick, and do you guys sign Justin Fields and go on a playoff one? I was that tipsy last night joking with my friends.
Yeah, that trade will not happen.
Yeah, I know, but I was, my friend dared me to do 3 double shots in a row, and I was like off the record.
So you got pretty messed up last night, Chiefs fan.
Yeah, pretty much so. Pretty messed up.
I'm happy for you. Sounds like you had a wild night.
I was home alone. I went to the bar to pick up some stuff for a friend today. Like, my friend knows the people at the bar, and he decided to get some food there. And they're like, "Okay, here's a few shots for him. This is his favorite shots. He always overspends and eats food here, our greasy food, comparing to going to the pizza places in town." So I stopped and did that. Then on the ride home,
did you get gas station pizza? Am I following the story correctly?
No. I went to Applebee's.
Oh, we had Club B's today. Very nice.
Yeah, my friend works there. I found out my friend who plays Magic the Gathering works there, and I just went in there, did a to-go order, and I finished it, and then I took a quick 10-minute shower.
Nice. What was the temperature of the shower?
Always hot.
Nice.
especially hot. Like I have my stuff on lava, especially during the wintertime. But I'm not afraid to admit it. When it's summertime, I am taking cold showers when it's 100 degrees outside.
You're a cold
Like
shower guy?
in the summertime, yeah. I'm
Yeah.
like what the football players do for the ice bath. I know you guys don't want
Have you been in
Tomlin.
an ice bath before?
I did the ice bucket challenge. Me and my friend couldn't afford that much because we lived in the ghetto, so we did half of the ice bucket challenge on each other during that ASL thing, whatever I forgot that was back when that was doing the challenge. We both challenged ourselves, and I'm like, oh,
When you
we're
say you couldn't
broke.
afford the ice bucket challenge, you couldn't afford to get ice and put it in a bucket?
Yeah, because we were that poor at one point because our refrigerator broke. So when we were living,
Isn't like a bag of ice like a couple bucks at the grocery store?
Oh no, ice was being bought out during that challenge in the ghetto because kids were going around throwing it on adults as pranks.
I see.
Yeah. But that was back long ago. I have my money now. I'm happy to have that trust fund down the line. The only issue is my grandparents told me, you're not touching that trust fund after what you did with all the Magic the Gathering cards and the trips and all that. You're not touching that for another 17 years if we have our way, or 7 years. They're probably going to put a cap on it.
Tom Ace makes a good point. You could have just pretended the water was cold. You didn't think
Yeah,
about doing that?
true. No. We were dumb and drunk, basically. In our 20s.
You were dumb and drunk during the ice bucket challenge?
No, we were dumb and drunk in our 20s. We were going into work hungover, going into work baked.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you'd basically do in the ghetto. They knew I was hungover and baked. They're like, okay, you're still working here. We'll just put you in the back.
When was the last time you were in the ghetto?
2019. I decided to stop by Chicago to check on everything. And didn't like what was going on. I was going to spend the night at my friend's place, and I didn't like the fact that he was about to shoot heroin, so I just walked out. His life went to shit after I left, let's just say that.
This call took quite the turn, Chiefs fan.
Yeah. Oh, but let me just go back on Mike Tomlin. I don't want to talk about drugs on here. I would love to see you guys get Mike Tomlin. The reason why is, even if it's like, win a playoff game here, go to the divisional round, constantly get bounced in the divisional round. It's a stepping stone. Like, look what Reed did for my team. You never know. Mike Tomlin can light a fire in Aaron's ass, and he might get his act together, and he might lead you to a 10-7 7th seed.
I'm not even thinking about Aaron. I'm thinking about just the next 5 years, having a coach that is going to give you a chance to win every week, building around him.
Yeah, and the thing is, I could see like if he pretty much put up with an old man and a young quarterback, what he could do with Tyrod Taylor if he even had Tyrod Taylor, like Mason Rudolph and Kenny Pickett, the lowest of low. Like if he had Justin Fields and Tyrod Taylor, or he had I don't know who you drafted in the 5th round who couldn't play this year because his ACL was shit from Florida. Even if you had those two, like he's been known to literally play with broken parts.
Chiefs fan, what is the key to being as confident and as calm as you look right now?
A lot of reforming school and a lot of Zen in practicing. When I was in Chicago, they forced meditation on me, and I was a rage-filled little bastard up until age 25, and then I finally got why meditation was good after one day at bad work.
Give us a sample of meditation. Give us an idea what it looks like.
Well, I would put on one of my favorite songs, Angels. It would trying to think of the song right now.
Give us a little meditation.
Let me look it up real fast.
Live on the air.
And Angels Among Demons by Instrumental Core. I would basically put by this and just sit there and just put that on loop for 10 minutes and just think. I'm not the type that goes, I just like relax and do this. And you can make a meme out of this, Gator. I don't give a fuck. Relax, think, clear your head. Relax, think, clear your head. Look forward to shit. Because life isn't worth throwing it away, V-Man, if they sign Tomlin. You don't know, V-Man, if you threw your life away and then Tomlin wins you a Super Bowl. You wouldn't get to live through that, V-Man. And I'm more relaxing. That, and they put me on a heavy medication of Seroquel until I got my act together. Seroquel was a heavy mood stabilizer for
Chiefs
me.
fan, you're one of the greats.
Well, it's Chiefs fan. Guess what? I'm still looking for a job, bitches. It's Chiefs fan. I'm just going to rub my hands together all day. It's Chiefs fan. There's a whole lot of DNA on this couch. Let's hear it for Chiefs fan. Look, it's my dead neighbor that I didn't kill.
Great points made by Chiefs fan. As always, I knew he'd get the show back on track. Is this another one from Jeffrey? My God. 5-spot channel memberships. I don't know if this was before the Chiefs fan call or after. But I think we got 5. And if I already announced these memberships, maybe I did. I can't even, there's too much in the chat. I think I already announced these. I don't know. But either way, Jeffrey, thank you very much for your support. Storylin says 500 record. He no Belichick. More NFL Doc Rivers. So I looked it up because I was like, Mike Tomlin definitely doesn't have a 500 career record. You want to guess what Mike Tomlin's career record is? 183, 107, and 2. That's a .630 winning percentage. Please tell me more about Mike Tomlin being a 500 career coach. As you sent a super chat earlier saying Mike Tomlin's mid and you want Rex Ryan, who has a career losing record, who in his Jet career, and I love Rex. Rex Ryan had 2 winning seasons as the Jet coach. 4 others that were either 500 or losing seasons. They were 8-8 in 2011, 6-10 in 2012, 8-8 in 2013, 4-12 as last year. And you're going to sit there and try and say that you don't want Mike Tomlin because he's super mid every year and the Jets should rehire Rex. Like, you got to be trolling, Storyline, honestly. Oregon Jets writes in, Tomlin coaches boring, unwatchable football. No, thank you. I'm going to try and do whatever Chiefs fan was just saying. Boring, unwatchable football. That's right. Winning every year is boring and unwatchable. Farewell.
Now look what you've done. No more protection from the Asmaniacs. Had to pull you out of the chat and cast you down with the Sodomites. Some time in here will feel like you've been run over by the lane train. You understand me? You catch my drift? Give them another 24 hours to think about it.
I can't, man. I can't. Boring, unwatchable football. Winning, yes. Playing playoff games every year. Contending every year. So boring. I rather keep doing what we're doing as Jet fans. It's been so much fun these last 14 years. Just give me a break. Hit the like button if you're tuning in. If you're still watching this, you could do me the common courtesy of subscribing and liking the video if I got to keep reading some of these comments. Oh, my God. Oh. All right. Let's get to more of your calls right now. We got some elites on the line. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time.
Women. Hey, Jake.
How are you, Rob?
I think the V-Man's cracking up. He finally had too much rum, Puerto Rican rum or something that affected the brain. How can you not say you wouldn't take Tomlin? I mean, he's just a 631 percentage coach who manages to win all the time. Okay, he didn't win Super Bowls. How hard is it to win a Super Bowl, Jake? Is it that easy? I mean, people win Super Bowls all the time.
And I understand the criticism. Like, I do think at some point, like, if they made a change, I get it. Like, maybe it's gotten stale, stagnant. Like, sometimes you need a new voice. I understand all that. That happened in Philly with Andy Reid. But my point is, the idea that Mike Tomlin wouldn't be worth it for the Jets, you're not finding a better coach than Mike Tomlin. You're just not. I love Aaron Glenn. I hope Aaron Glenn makes me eat my words if that's who they end up hiring, or if it's Flores or whoever. They're not going to be better than Mike Tomlin. There's no way. I'd love to be wrong. I hope I'm wrong. It's not going to happen.
You're not wrong there. I mean, anybody would be ecstatic to have a guy like Mike Tomlin. He's a guy, no nonsense, demands respect. I mean, he does have discipline in a quiet way, but he knows what to do. I mean, it's not his fault that he hasn't had the right quarterback. You know, they're using washed-up quarterbacks or they're drafting bad quarterbacks. It's kind of like what you said, Jake. It's a dart throw every year for a quarterback. You don't know when you're going to hit the right quarterback. You don't. And it hasn't happened, unfortunately, for Tomlin in a long time. But I was also happy. I tell you, Gator's call yesterday with Frankie V was excellent. He made some phenomenal points. I was really proud of Gator. Excellent points. I echo 90% of what Gator said, other than maybe I'm not thrilled about Fields possibly coming in. I mean, here's a question, Jake. If the incredible happened and we got Tomlin, do you think Tomlin would go and say, yeah, Aaron's coming back 1 year with Devontae? Or do you think he would be against that?
I think he'd want Aaron. I think given his quarterback options he's dealt with, I think he'd look at it like, I'm the right coach to try and squeeze one more year out of Rodgers and try and I mean, with Tomlin, you're competitive, but I think he might look at it like, let's see if we could try and go on a run one more year.
I think you're right.
It's not going to happen though. I just honestly, I didn't think I'd be spending this much time on it. I couldn't believe the pushback I was seeing.
Hey, I don't blame you for at least talking about it. Like, someone made a call and they made a statement like that. You got to at least throw a dart, like you don't know, or you got to at least make a phone call. I mean, if there's any chance of getting a coach of that high caliber, you have to at least try and stuff. I mean, people have to stop because he's not winning Super Bowls. It's not that easy to win Super Bowls. Kyle Shanahan, how many has he won? He hasn't won any yet, and he's a really good coach too.
And also, I feel like, given the reputation of the Jets and what their perception is, like, even if they don't win a Super Bowl with Tomlin, right? But just turning your franchise around from being looked at as a joke is worth it. Like, the perception of the Jets instantly changes. It's like, it's a different sport, but I'll use the example. When Steve Cohen bought the Mets, the perception of the Mets changed very quickly because you had real ownership. We know the Jets can't change owners, but they can get the right leadership in place. Yeah. You'd feel more comfortable about Woody Johnson if Mike Tomlin was there to basically handle everything. Yeah. Like, that's how I'd look at it.
Does anybody talk about the Knicks anymore right now in disdain? No, people just now brag about the Knicks, that they're close now and stuff. Nobody's killing the owner anymore, Dolan. So you get a guy like a Tomlin and stuff, they take off a tremendous amount of heat. You have instant respectability.
And you might actually have a chance to win a Super Bowl, by the way. Like, I'm not, just because Tomlin hasn't won a playoff game in a while doesn't mean that he's incapable with the right team doing it again. Andy Reid didn't win any Super Bowls in Philadelphia. They're like, you'll never get it done, this or that. And go ask any Chiefs fan how they feel about Andy Reid right now. I think he goes
to his top team, and what happens? All of a sudden, Reid takes off, and he gets a guy like Mahomes, and now look what's going on. He's regarded as one of the best coaches now. Some people regard him as being a better coach than Belichick because of where he had to come and where he had to go in order to get to the point that he was. So you know what? People got to calm down with that. I mean, if you have a chance for a guy like Tomlin, you go after him. You go after him. And if not, I'm still sticking with the Brian Flores. I'm with you there. I don't know. I'm a tiny bit warming up to the Aaron Glenn thing because of kind of what I said, Jake. Aaron Glenn seems to call like Parcells all the time, and Parcells, I'm sure, is critiquing him. You need to do this and that and that. So that's kind of nice, but I just don't think we need a first-year coach. I don't think it's going to work here. We're going to sit there. You got to love Frankie V. He's okay to the next 2 years to like suck. But, I mean, this Jake. I mean, us fans, us Asmaniacs, we don't want to give up 25 and 26 and hope we're good for 27. Come on.
I want to win games, man. I want to win games. Like, there's talent on this team that should try and win as many games as possible.
Yes. You wanted and I wanted. The Asmaniacs wanted. You can't just sit there, Jake, for the next 2 years and sacrifice and hope that the guy that you threw a dart on is going to be good in 2027. I'm if we have a chance to be competitive and maybe even a wild card next year, I'm sorry. That's what I'm rooting for. That's what I want.
Yeah, I think that should be the goal. They shouldn't throw away next year. This is not 2021 where like that you're coming off a 2-win season. There's legit talent on this team. So I'm with you,
Experienced coach, Jake. Experienced coach we need.
Well, I think they're going to end up with Glenn, Rob. So I don't think they're going to get the experienced head coach. So what I hope is they have an experienced coaching staff, and I hope the GM is someone that's been a GM before. That's not Grigson. I hope it's Thomas Dimitrov.
Oh no, not Grigson. No.
We'll see.
Hell no. You're right. Not Grigson. I mean, Dimitri's. I would take him. I mean, I think he would be a good GM, but not him. I mean, but that's my 2 cents. But hopefully, we'll have something to really cheer for next year, Jake, and not a year that we have to just, say like, yeah, we'll sacrifice 2025 and 2026. I hope that doesn't happen.
Wouldn't that be nice, huh? Wouldn't that be nice?
Very nice, bud.
Alan's wife.
Rob, thank you for the call. Super chat from Citybird. Told you, Jake, about Tomlin, but still a long shot. I don't think he's coming here. I'm just simply saying Adam Schefter said a team called. I believe that team's the Jets, connecting the dots. That was last week the Jets called. That's very Mike Tannenbaum-y to call. No stones unturned. So you call the Steelers. Inquire. I would call again this week. That's all I'm saying. Make them say no. Citybird. Steelers' first-round loss purgatory last decade is bad for NBA, where best teams win 9 out of 10 times in 7-game series, but NFL is different. Yeah, it's not even the same thing. Citybird, one question regarding Tomlin, why he has no coaching tree hires, why? I honestly think it's kind of like Belichick that, like, there's only one Mike Tomlin. Like, you can't replicate what he does. He's got the magic formula, the secret sauce. The guy's never had a losing season. And when you think Mike Tomlin, you don't think he's a defensive guy or an offensive guy. You think he's a head coach. And I think that's what the Jets need more than anything. It's not going to happen, though. But the pushback I'm seeing from some of the people in the chat is crazy to me. Keith with a Asmaniac super chat. What would you give up for Tomlin? I'd never eat Chipotle again for the rest of my life. I'd drive to Pittsburgh and pick him up immediately right now. And I'd offer the Steelers my first-round draft pick. I would offer more if I had to, but I'd start there. KN writes in, Jets hired Joe Beningo for GM and Fireman Ed as coach. I'll tell you what, that power structure would do better than 30 and 64 that Douglas had. Hard to do worse, sadly. It's crazy. Michael checks in. Why is the NFL the only league where experienced coaches are considered trash? A first and a third swap for Coach Mike. I don't know, Michael. You're talking to the wrong guy. The fact that you wouldn't trade a first-round pick for you need a coach. You can't win. Coach is the most important position besides quarterback in football. A good coach could make all the difference. Look how many games Mike Tomlin wins every year with inferior quarterback play in a tough division. D-Rob writes in, I'd move in with Beastbreaker to get Mike Tomlin. Wow. That's when you know that guy is serious about the New York Jets improving and turning it around. Ladies and gentlemen, we still got a bunch of people on hold right now. Please hit the like button. We'll get to all your calls. You just heard that guy's name be mentioned. I think it's time to unleash the beast.
Holy crap, here comes Beastbreaker 666.
Why don't you get your fat ass on a treadmill and go the distance with me?
Is that Bobby Midnight?
I'm not into politics, and I already told you that.
I may be big, but I'm going to be bad enough to put you out.
Beastbreaker always has some salient points.
Good evening, Beast.
You really fired up tonight. I swear to God. I mean, I never see you light a fire on someone's ass, but the first guy we saw, this guy, no clue, very uneducated, F for failure, very piss poor. If this guy knew football, he would actually have a brain, but unfortunately, into the sea. Bye-bye to him. Now, let's see if we can get some facts here. If we're not going to get Tomlin, we don't need him. He's a bum. I swear, if Burger's brother was still living, he'd be like, he's a bum. That's what I would say. He's a bum. You know, he did great, but unfortunately, You see what this means? Dust. He's old. He's out of date. He's dumb. He's not worth the effort.
Hey,
this
Beast,
is what we
show
do.
off your T-shirt that you have on there. What are we working with? A little Donkey Kong?
That's right. We're going retro today, boys. And ladies and gentlemen, let me say this to everybody. Mike Tomlin, not a great choice. No. This is what we stand with as of right now. Rex Ryan, leader, general. Aaron Glenn, second head general. And I know I'm not going to pick the best choice, but you know what? Pete Carroll, number 3. And last but not least, I know everyone's not going to like this one. Flores is number 4. We're going to have to go with that.
You want all of them hired together, or you have a choice of just one?
We'll hire them all together, but this is how we're going to do it.
Okay.
We're going to use this goddamn thing called a brain, and we're going to reoperate. The first thing we start doing, we look at kickers, defense, and offense, because this year was very garbage. And congratulations to the Knicks kicking the crap out of the Milwaukee Bucks, 140 to 106. Congratulations. So I say, fire up, baby. I love that. Hell, now, Jake, can you dig it? Can you dig it?
Yeah, I can dig it.
Damn right I can dig it. Now, now, ladies and gentlemen, let me just say this for everybody. We're going to be okay. If once we get Rex Ryan and all the other guys that I just mentioned, we're
Rick
going
Kent
to calm down.
Making some good points. He gets 4 defensive coaches on one staff. That makes a lot of sense.
40. Wait. Rex Ryan is the general. He'll lead the examples, and because he has his father's ideas up here, he learned from his father. Aaron Glenn, former New York Jet. He knows a lot more because he used to coach for Detroit, and he played for Houston, and he also played for New York. Up here, another one of common sense. Pete Carroll. Sure, I might not like the guy, but you know what? Let's give him a shot. And Flores.
Why don't you like Pete Carroll?
Well, first couple times I looked at him and went, hard pill to swallow, and I kept going, it was hard. I'm like, it was like being punched around like a punching bag. You don't know how many times you get punched in the eye and you're asking for more. Jesus Christ. I said, okay, simmer down, calm down, take a breather, breathe in, breathe out. Okay, now we got that out of our chest.
Okay.
Our homestead. Okay, we got the 3 we want, but the Steelers are coming to our house, and you know how man thrashing we're gonna be. I think we're gonna thrash the Steelers right out, and we got Cleveland coming to our house. Okay, what's gonna happen here? I mean,
so you're
let's look at the numbers.
the schedule for next year right now, Beast. We don't even have a GM or coach.
Yeah, well, I'm visioning in this right now and just going, okay, this is what we do right now. The $10 billion that we're going to take out, we're going to go to all these colleges, all 100,000 of them, and we're going to start looking at talent and what they want. And here's the deal. Whatever you want, we got the checkbook. We know what we're going to do. We're not like Robert Kraft of the Patriots, which, by the way, Mike Vrabel, you traitor, you Benedict Arnold, you want to turn your back on us? Get out of here.
Gator with a good question for you here. He says, how many times have you cracked your toilet?
Gator, I'm getting really close to knocking your teeth out. Now get the hell out of my face. Here's your meal ticket. Get in line like everybody else and shut up. Now back to
Gator has followed up here. He says, when Beastbreaker Uber Eats, he eats the delivery truck.
Oh my God. Gator, you don't want me to do what Jake did tonight. You won't want me to go fucking hard on you. I swear to God, get out of my face. Get out of my face and leave town because you don't want none of me right now. I'm here to spit facts, not bullshit. Now
JV
do your part.
Beast, did you lose some weight? You look good, Beast.
I'm looking fine. I just hate how people act on this page. We got a bunch of rookies on here that don't know their damn shit because they're too stupid. Because let's really look at. Do you remember the movie Forrest Gump? Do you remember what the one guy said? Here's a great line right here. Forrest is right here. It tends for public school, Mrs. Gump. And, he's going to have to go to a special school. And he'll be just fine. Let's just play the numbers. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to say this once for everybody. Fireman Ed, I love the guy. Don't get me wrong. I respect him, but you all need to show some respect to that man. That man has been a bleeder, a fighter, and a warrior. Billy, the one guy I liked down here yesterday who slammed that piece of garbage, I swear, I'm lucky I didn't break his neck or put him out of commission because he's lucky that I didn't squeeze his guts out and turn it in two. I'm not the kind of guy, hey, if you're going to light a fire under my ass, come get you some. Don't sing it, just goddamn bring it. The next time that jerk's on here, I'm gonna bitch slap him like his mama was on crack cocaine.
Wow, strong Beast, very strong tonight.
And Billy, come on in here. Let's put some points on the board. So not 3, I'm talking 7. Let's touch down this one. Let's touch down the fact that now we're gonna look at this. Aaron Rodgers, to everybody, leave that man alone. He's gone through enough shit. Leave him alone. And Peter Castro, blow it out your big ass and take a walk, you joke. Get out of here. Or I swear to God, I'll send you 10 pizzas so fast your eyeballs will go right in the back of your head, joke. Now, this is what
Salient point there, absolutely.
I'm serious now. Now, this is what I hate losing seasons. We have been like this for 14 years. This is horse shit.
Metro Funny writes in, did Beast take a shower today because he changed his shirt? You showered today, Beast? Oh, he's gone. Beast,
hey, jerk off. I'm fine. Don't worry about my shower. Worry about yourself. Worry about your life. Worry about your own things. And worry about this thing called a brain. Use it once in a while. Read some books. Get a life. Go on a date. Do something with your life. Don't worry about what I'm doing. Worry about what you're doing. Think about that. Jake's had a hard day. I kind of had a little bit of a tough day myself. Everybody's going through struggles right now, but we're going to worry about football because right now, in the next 6 months, it's going to get tough.
What happened with your day today? What'd you do?
Back trouble and shoveling.
Shoveling? What were you shoveling?
Yeah. Snow. We had snow here again. 4 inches. Doesn't Illinois count?
You live in
Come
Illinois?
on, man. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I've moved around from time to time. I'm not gonna mention a lot of stuff here because we got a limited show and limited minutes. But the point I'm gonna get across is to everybody: leave Aaron Rodgers alone. The man's gone through a lot. Let him be. Kickers. This is what I want from you guys. I want someone with power. A leg with power.
A lot of people are saying that you're shoveling BS. Any thoughts to respond to those people?
Shoveling BS? Hey, assholes! Get your act straight. You think I could take cold weather? I've done a lot of cold time. So how about you do this? Why don't you shovel up 6 inches of snow, get off your fat ass, go hit the treadmill, and see if you like it then. Now get out of my face. Get out of my goddamn face. And sit down and shut up.
Rob V says you said North Carolina the other day. So are you in Illinois or Carolina?
I said Illinois. Clean your ears, Robbie. You ever hear of a Q-tip? Something like this. You ever hear of it?
Oh yeah.
Clean it out once in a while. Go to the doctor and get your hearing checked, you dummy. Now let's get back to basics. Kickers. This is what I look at right now. Let's see. Who do I want for a kicker?
Can I ask you something, Beast? The Jets have a lot of problems. Kicker's definitely one of them, but don't they need to get the GM and coach first and then figure out the plan?
Well, GM-wise, I want that Mike guy from Tennessee. The guy that you mentioned from Tennessee, that Mike guy.
What? Vrabel, he's gone. He's to the Patriots.
Not Vrabel. Not him. The other guy. Tatton something. Start with a T. Mike T.
Mike Tomlin?
No, not Tomlin. Tannenbaum.
Mike Tannenbaum, he's helping the Jets hire the GM and coach. He used to be the Jets
GM. This is what we do. We get that guy first, then we get Rex, then we get Aaron, then we get Pete Carroll. And I know Flores was not my last pick, but let's see what he offers to the table. But if he doesn't, live up to his expectation, you know what we'll do? Pink slip. There you go. Thank you for playing.
Does Beast use Q-tips to clean the folds in his neck?
Nikki, I swear to God, kid, you're asking to get your lights punched out, and I swear to God, don't even tempt me right now. I'm trying to, conduct business here. We're trying to act civilized. We're not acting like some ass wipes right now. Now, do us all a favor. Sit down, shut up, and listen, and pay attention. You might just learn something, you damn more. And Killian Ross, here you know what I'm going to give you? Right here. You're a dumbass. Like that country song. You're a dumbass. You're a dumbass. You're grade A, number 1, certified first class. You're a dumbass. You're a dumbass. You sure talk too much shit because you're full of shit. Hey, Italian beef sandwiches? Really? I'm not in the beef sandwich mood, but there is a place out in Jersey. I can't think of the guy's name. It's the deli guy. I want you guys to look him up on Facebook. That guy is great. He makes some great eggplant sandwiches. Great other sandwiches. Why do you think I brought up Virginia ham? Thin slice. And let me say this about the song. Beast Breaker 666. He will kick your ass. That's a fact. That is fact right there. Oh, thank you, Borderless Logics. Hey, get down and serve your masters very, very well. Thank you. Hey, Rotunda, you want 3 things? I'm going to give you 3. 1, 2, 3. Yeah. Peter Castro, go. Why don't you go dance with those cost jesters and get out of my sight, you dirty little puke. Get out of here. New York City 25. Hey, here's your meal ticket. Get in the back of the line, you little toid. You're just a joke. Now, this is what I look at for next year. The defense line.
Breaker 666. He's the man who would kick your ass, and then he's gobbled.
What a call! What a call, Gator. I know you made it in life that the Beast is singing your song. Your theme song. That man was singing it. That is tremendous. What a call. What a call. Citybird says, hearing same about Kevin O'Connell. Kevin O'Connell is not going to be traded. They won 14 games this year with Sam Darnold at quarterback. Honestly, you would have to trade at least 2 first-rounders to even start the conversation. 1 first-rounder wouldn't be enough for O'Connell. He's young on the offensive side of the ball and proven to be a quarterback whisperer. Not going to happen. More of your calls right now. Billy's next. Hey, Billy.
Beast Breakers. I love that dude. He makes me fucking laugh. I can't stop laughing all day. I'm sorry
about that. He makes some salient points, man. He does.
He does.
I think people know what it is, though? The idea.
Look, I don't blame the chat, Jake, about the Jets. We just are suffering fan. It's killing us. The last time I had a decent season was 1998 and 2010. After that, it's a shit show. We don't have no coaches. We have nobody to hold accountability. We can't get even off the ground, man. Every year it's the same thing. 6 wins, 7 wins, 9 wins. We back into the playoffs. We get knocked out. We just make it out of fools, man. It just eats me alive. Every damn week, it carries me the whole damn week. I cannot eat. I cannot sleep. And when I go to work, I get angry at everybody. I mean, come on, just give me a winning season. I'm sick of it. I just can't stand it no more.
Yeah,
and I understand everybody.
I get it, but how do you think the Lions fans felt, right? They went 30 years without a playoff win.
Right.
They eventually turned it around. The Jets have to try and turn this around somehow. And until they do it, they don't deserve the benefit of the doubt. But all we could do is
hope they get it right. The thing is, Jake, look, we don't have no more Rabel. We found out today he's gone, right? He swam with the fishes, the patsies, I call them. But check this out. We still got Flores. McCown as an OC or head coach. I'll take him as a head coach. It's a lot better than what the hell we had. I just can't take the losing no more. We have no accountability.
How do you know Josh McCown's going to be a good head coach? He's never even been a coordinator before.
No, I'm saying I'd rather take him than the shit show that we had the last, decade?
Yeah, I mean, it'd be rolling the dice, but
look what we have now. We have 20 penalties a game. We can't get off the ground. We have great players. I mean, Aaron Rodgers is good.
I think McCown would be better than Jeff Ulbrich. Yes, I do think that, but I don't know if McCown is ready to be a head coach. I'd much rather hire Flores.
Well, we'll take him as an OC. Yeah, we'll take him as OC. We'll take Aaron Glenn or Flores as a head coach. I mean, you can't go wrong with that. It's a lot better than what the hell we had, though. Am I right?
Yeah, I mean, look, if you tell me it's Brian Flores as head coach, McCown as OC, I really like that. What concerns me is that Ryan Griggson's name is being attached to Brian Flores, and I don't want Grigson. Grigson, I don't think should be the next GM of the Jets. I'd much rather hire someone who's never done it before and give them a chance, or hire a guy like Thomas Dimitroff who has done it before and does have overlap.
I agree with that. I agree with that 100%. Yeah. But Mike Tomlin take, come on. I mean, you guys are telling me you wouldn't want Mike Tomlin. So what? He gives you 10 wins a year. It's a lot better than what the hell we had now. I'd rather be in the playoffs and have a shot. All right, the last couple of times he got bounced out, but look at the QBs he had. He had terrible QBs, the second or third stringers on other teams. And the last time he won when he had Roethlisberger. Come on. I mean, you give him a decent QB, he will make it further. That's the way I look at it. I mean, I just can't stand it no more, Jake. I mean, it is what it is. I'm sick of it.
I get it, Billy. I love the passion, dude. I think it's relatable. You have to just hope that they get the right people in place and they can turn it around. That's it. I don't have the answers. I don't know if Josh McCown or Aaron Glenn are going to be good head coaches if they get the job. Right? Like, I like Brian Flores. I think he deserves a second chance, but I don't know if he's going to be good. That's why I wanted Vrabel so badly, because I can't guarantee you he'd have success here, but I feel way more confident in his ability to turn it around than I would someone who's never done it, or some of the other candidates we're discussing, like Matt Nagy and Arthur Smith. I mean, can we cancel the Arthur Smith interview watching Pittsburgh last night? No, thank you. The big fella writes in, who does Beast want as our OC? Beast, who do you want the Jets OC to be?
Beast? Hey, how you guys doing? Give me a second here. Give me a minute. Let me punch in. I'm just doing a little checkage department. I'm doing a little check department. Give me a second here. Let me punch you in here.
Hey, quick question, Beast. Who do you want to be the OC of the Jets?
Get here. Give me a second.
All right, Beast.
All right, hold on. I know who I want for the Jets. I know exactly who I want.
OC, who do you want?
I know who I want. I want Rex. He will lead example like just his father did when him and Mike Ditka did the Bears in '85. They took the Bears from nothing to something, and we're gonna do it again. But this time, get this damn thing moving. We're gonna motivate and we're gonna educate. We're gonna learn the basics and we're gonna get back on our feet and get off our asses. No more of this bullshit. When you come here to New York, you're not getting a paycheck sitting on your ass. You're gonna do it by earning it. You're going to fight, you're going to bleed, you're going to sweat, and you're going to take an ass whooping. I don't care if you're all, ooh, that's not bullshit. Nope.
Beast Breaker. 666, he's the man who would kick your ass. And then he's gabagoo.
Rex is the OC. There you have it. It's a good take. Very good take. Ladies and gentlemen, more of your calls right now. I think everyone's going to be excited about this one. Joining us on the Gusbuster Umbrella Hotline is...
Hi, everybody. This is Bob from Vermont. I am Bob, of course. Jake, first thing, is he available for us or what? Tomlin. I want Tomlin, but is he on the contract with
I don't think the Steelers will ultimately trade him, but Adam Schefter said a team last week inquired, and they were told Tomlin's got a no trade.
Oh, he
And-
does. Okay, forget about that. We could throw that out the window. Right?
Probably. Now, Bobby, I do love the fact that we're seeing the return of the Yankee hat, but that's not the OG
Right.
Yankee hat. That's the one I got you. I want the dirty one that Babe Ruth wore.
I can't find that right now. You
Ah.
said that you said the one I gave you, so I'm wearing this one. Yankee
Well,
fan.
It looks good. I just wanted the true old
I'll
school
fi-
Bobby
I'll-
Babe Ruth hat.
I'll find it. It's got to be around here somewhere.
Yeah.
All right, I'll find it. Not right now.
All right.
So, yeah, okay. Then if we can't get him, who else can we get?
How was your show today, Bob?
I didn't know you were going on, so I wanted to make sure I didn't go over. My daughter took me out to dinner tonight.
You didn't go over. You were on in the afternoon today. I wasn't on till
I know. We
7:45.
stopped around 6 o'clock. My daughter called for taking me out to dinner. Her boyfriend and her.
How was dinner?
We went to the Italian place right here in Brattleboro.
What'd you
I
eat?
had meatballs and some sausages, and that's it.
Meatballs
some
and
water.
sausages?
Yeah, that's meat.
Nice.
Just meat. No soda, which I was tempted, but no. Drink some water. Brattleboro water is very good.
Very nice.
Yeah, so I didn't want to I wanted to keep to my diet. No butter. I didn't have butter. There was no butter. No butter to have tonight. Well, there was with the bread, but I didn't have bread either. So
Wow. Good
bread
job.
out. Yeah, I gotta stop the carbohydrates. You know that's not good for me.
That's good. You gotta keep losing weight. I'm excited for the next weigh-in show with Nick Shaw.
Yeah, that's Tuesday on time this time because I was sick last week. And then we still don't have a boiler in the house. Guess what I can't do?
What can't you do?
Take a guess. What do you always call me?
Bobby Midnight?
No, what else do you call me? You have a commercial. You sell this. You have a person.
Bobby Butter?
No, you have no. Stinky. I'm very stinky.
You can't shower right now?
No, I'm not showering. No cold weather during the winter. Am I going to get sick? No, I don't want to get sick.
When was the last time you took a shower?
I don't know. Before. It was fine until the dumbass thing went out Thursday evening.
You haven't showered since Thursday?
Yeah, I stink.
You probably reek.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Woo-hoo.
Oh, you got to be disgusting. Yeah,
Well, what am I going to do? I'm not going to get re-sick. I was sick.
Why couldn't you shower at your daughter's house then?
Well, she lives in Winchester. It's cold.
But she picked you up today, no?
Yeah, well, I didn't want. Yeah, I should have showered there.
You got to shower, Bobby. That's not good. Thursday and Sunday night.
Yeah, I know. Well, I'm telling you the truth. I'm not lying for that.
At least you do like a body wash shower.
How you do a body wash shower?
You just take a washcloth, put some soap on it, some water, and just at least give yourself like a cleanse that way if you're not going to go full body in the shower.
Okay, good. I could do that. Okay.
Yeah, do it right now. Let's call it go shower or do that.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that definitely. Yeah.
The chat is debating who smells worse, you or Beastbreaker. Come on.
I probably smell worse than he does.
Oh, it's definitely Beastbreaker. I can tell you, he smells fantastic compared to you.
I know. I smell like
Beastbreaker smells like Sydney Sweeney compared to what you smell like right now.
I smell like elephant shit.
That's insulting to elephants. That's how bad you stink.
All right. Well, I smell bad. I gotta do that.
All right, you go shower, right?
Yeah.
Go
okay,
shower before the Nick Shine show. Sound good?
Well, I'm gonna be probably in bed by then because I'm tired.
All right. Well, go clean yourself. You stink.
Yeah,
I smell you from here in my apartment. Oh.
I know. Yeah, the way. Ooh.
Oh.
Oh.
Go clean yourself, stinky.
Well, you know I can't wear my freaking hat. It's hot, my balls will sweat. Oh, look, I have a fan. I'm Bobby.
Look at BMAC from the clouds coming at Bobby. Bobby, you stink. Bernard Nixon. He's back. Wow. You stink, Bobby. Good Lord. Go shower. Go do something. I understand it's cold. You got to put some soap on your body. All right, you wash your hands. Do that with your body. That's assuming he washes his hands, which, wow. That's an assumption. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to wrap up the show soon. Before we do that, we got a couple heavy hitters on the line, including this guy who will be live tonight. Nick Shine's next. Hello, Nick.
How do you not play the Jake Asman? He stinks. How do you not play that with that?
I couldn't find it, to be honest.
What are you doing here? You in off-season mode already?
No, I have too many folders, and I couldn't find it. But, I will retroactively play this for you.
He stinks. All right. I love you. I preface this with this, right?
Here comes
you.
I love you.
I love you.
So what take do you disagree with, Nicholas?
Why do we get rid of our coaches here? Because they can't develop an offense, right? The last 6 years, I'm going to read you Tomlin's rankings in Pittsburgh. 30, 24, 23, 25, 23. 6 straight years not being in the top 22 in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
That's a red flag as a Jet fan, because that's our biggest problem here, right? We can't develop an offense. We can't find the coaching staff to find a quarterback, develop them, and score points.
But this guy wins with terrible quarterback play. Like, what would happen if he had a good quarterback? You don't think they'd be a better offensive team?
How are we going to get a better quarterback? This is a guy that picked Kenny Pickett in the first round.
He's not the GM.
No, but if we give our coaches credit, if we blame Rex for the Calvin Pryor and Quentin Copels, we got
but that's different
blame
because
other coaches.
But every front office and coaching staff dynamic is different. Like Rex clearly had an input in a lot of personnel stuff. Mike Tomlin does not pick the players like what happened with Rex. The better example would be I look at Kyle Shanahan. I think he's awesome. He screwed up Trey Lance and traded multiple first rounders for the guy. It's quarterback is still a crapshoot at the end of the day. And Tomlin still gets the most out of what he has.
What's the greatest part of the Steelers organization? It's their continuity. It's their stability, right? What don't the Steelers do? They don't change their coaching. They don't change their schemes. And every year they come to training camp and they know what to do. They never have to be a team that wastes time in training camp implementing. Will they tweak? Sure. Will they add on?
They change their offensive scheme. They've tried different offensive coordinators that haven't worked.
But their defense always hits the ground running. And they start off the year 4-0, 3-1, when other teams are doing what? They're learning, they're adjusting, they're adapting. They don't take preseason seriously. The Steelers always hit the ground running, and they tinker off as the season goes on. It's because of the stability in the organization that makes them so good that they get a head start year after year after year, in my opinion. And when you can't 6 straight years, it's too much of a trend for me to even consider going and trading for that. This is an offensive league.
So if he was available, you didn't have to trade for him, you still would say no? You'd rather
I wouldn't. No, I wouldn't, because the last 6 years. What do I care about? We're not taking Rex because Rex was good in 2010 and 2011. That was the last time that Tomlin
Mike Tomlin is still good, man. You're just missing the idea of winning 10 games this year.
I'm looking big picture, though.
Big picture, the Jets suck, Nick, and have not made the playoffs since 2010. Have not had a winning season since 2015. And what does Mike Tomlin do? He wins every year. He's in the mix, and he builds a culture, and he will immediately put the Jets on a better path to have success going forward. Immediately. Now you got to get him a quarterback.
Exactly what Robert Saleh did, though, Jake. It'll be a great defense with no offense, and we'll always say,
Robert Saleh.
What do you think the Steelers fans are saying now in the last 6 years? If we had an average quarterback,
Robert
we'd be
Saleh
good.
Was 20-36 as a coach.
I get you, but
20-36.
What they're saying, now, Jake.
You lose the argument when you're going to compare. I understand your pushback on Tomlin. That's all fine. I think it's worth it given how dog shit the Jets have been. But if you're going to try and insinuate and even compare what you just did, Robert Saleh to Mike Tomlin, I don't even know how to respond to that, because that's like we're talking about two completely different things.
Have we said that the last couple of years? Not this year, obviously. But the last 2 years before that, we had a top 5 defense, and we said if we had an average quarterback, we'd be a playoff team. Steelers fans are saying right now, if we had an average quarterback, we'd be a Super Bowl contender.
Nick, they're not saying they had an average quarterback. They play in the AFC. They lost to the MVP of the league last night as 10-point underdogs. And here's what you conveniently leave out.
They lost 6 out of their last 8.
The year before, they were a 10 or 11-point underdog to Buffalo at Buffalo, got destroyed. The year before that, they were a 10 or an 11-point underdog to Kansas City and got blown out.
Because they can't score.
Because they don't have a quarterback. That's why.
Exactly.
And the Saleh thing, I remember last year when I would bring up Saleh didn't have a quarterback, and then the argument from you and other Jet fans was always, well, how does Mike Tomlin figure it out? And I go, sorry, Robert Saleh is not a Hall of Fame head coach.
I've never been. The last 3 years, as long as you've known me, I got killed last offseason because I said Tomlin's the most overrated coach in the NFL. I like what he does with the culture.
He
but
could be
in this day
overrated
and era of
and
scoring
still
points,
worth the
they
Jets.
can't do it.
He could be overrated and still the best coach the Jets have had since Bill Parcells. I mean, that's the reality.
Look at Rodgers this year. Rodgers is one of the best quarterbacks we ever had. Just because you're good for us doesn't mean you can win in the league overall.
Our
bar is too low.
But Mike Tomlin's 52. You were getting Aaron Rodgers coming off an Achilles injury at age 41. It's not the same thing.
Tomlin and Rodgers are the same age. What's the big deal?
Mike Tomlin is 52, and he's been a head coach for 18 years and not once finished under 500.
But the trajectory has been downhill. Would you agree with that? He inherited Cowher's team.
Being down from the standpoint of
Cowher's team, right?
Yeah, but if we're going to play that game, then Aaron Rodgers' career trajectory since he won his Super Bowl has been down too. If it's only about playoff wins and winning Super Bowls, he only won that one Super Bowl.
Well, he's won MVPs. Wouldn't you consider the equivalent of like getting to a Super Bowl for a coach, winning an MVP for a player, right?
I mean, and Mike Tomlin has had years where they were in the divisional round and didn't win. They ran into Brady one of the years that we're talking about these losses. I'm not telling you he's the perfect candidate, but for V-Man, for example, to say you take a pine cone over Tomlin, or for you to act like it's crazy to trade for Tomlin, no, man, you're not finding a better coach. Have fun with Aaron Glenn. He'll be out of a job in 3 years, and we'll do this all over again. Can't wait.
He'll be done in 3 years too, because Jets fans won't have patience with him. Can I read you something? The Steelers have allowed at least 31 points in 5 straight playoff games, an NFL record. No other team has more than a 3-game streak. The 2016 Steelers allowed a season-high 36 points to the Patriots. The 2017 Steelers allowed a season-high 45 points to the Jaguars in the divisional round at home. The 2020 Steelers allowed a season-high 48 points to the Browns in the wild card at home. The 2021 Steelers allowed a season-high 42 points to the Chiefs in the AFC wildcard. The 23 Steelers allowed a season-high 31 points to the Bills in the AFC wildcard in the snow. So it's not just the offense that's a problem. When you're supposed to be at your best, he's at his worst.
I get it.
And
it's
that's
a good problem
for
to
almost
have,
a decade.
Good problem to have. Good problem to have. You're going to the playoffs every year. Maybe it's gone stale there. Maybe it's gone stale like it did for Andy Reid in Philly, who, by the way, never won a Super Bowl in Philadelphia. And then Kansas City didn't think twice about it when they hired him. Tomlin's won a Super Bowl, been to another. I will take my chance. All right? We're Jet fans.
But that's like saying, let's take Rex, because Rex was at an AFC championship as recently as Tomlin was in the Super Bowl.
No, it's not
the same
thing.
year.
It's not the same. Mike Tomlin just won 10 games this year.
I'm throwing that at you.
That was another super chat I got earlier today. I really didn't think I'd spend this much time. I wanted to talk about some of the other candidates and whatnot. I'll save it for tomorrow. But like the pushback on Mike Tomlin is insane. Insane.
I don't think he becomes available.
I don't either.
And I have to bust your balls because it's me and that's what I do. But when you go over into my time slot on Sunday night, I'm going to come argue with you for a few minutes.
I thought you go on at 10 on Sundays.
No, Sundays is 9.
Why would well, here's your problem, Nick. Let me give you some branding advice. Have some consistency so I know when your show starts. I thought
Sunday 9, Wednesday 9, Thursday 10. It's been the same since last February, my friend.
It's too confusing. You should be on at 10. There's a game on right now. Start the show at 10. Let people watch a little bit of the game. All right. And then you'll be ready to go. I thought you were on at 10. I had no idea. I came on at 7:35 tonight.
It's Sundays are like my foot. 9.
AJ
9.
writes in, Nick, you're a moron. Would you like to respond?
Oh, is that AJ? I thought that was the other one. Oh, JV is the other one. Nick, thank you, AJ. I appreciate it.
Rick Kent says, I'm with Jake. It's confusing. Say I'm onto something. 10 p.m. The new start time.
He's also 3 hours behind. That's why. That's why it's a little confusing.
Time difference is tough, man.
667, Rick. I love you, Jake.
I love you too, Nick. I will be tuned in at. Are we starting right after this? You starting at 10? Plug the show. You got an enormous amount of people watching right now. They're about to get Nick shined.
Well, let me preface it with a question. How long do you plan on going? I'll wait for you to end.
No, I'm going to be done within. I'm definitely done before 10. That's for sure.
I'll go on as soon as you're done. As soon as you hit the closing video, I'll start.
So you're doing the Bobby
I'll
Midnight
defer
thing.
to you, my good friend. You are the 40,000 king. Screw LeBron. You're the 40K king in my book.
It's funny. You could start right now. I'm not offended. I don't own you.
I don't want to miss it. It's a fun show to watch. I'm a fan of the show. You're a friend, but I'm also a fan.
Lane wants to know, Nick Shine, how are you doing tonight?
Lane, I'm fine. And once we get to 50 likes, I will drop the call-in link, Lane, and you are very welcome to call in. You've had some tremendous calls lately.
Oscar says Nico and Bobby style, Jake. He's living off. He's live as soon as you're off. That's the Bobby Midnight. Oh, by the way, what was your reaction to Bobby Midnight saying he hasn't taken a shower since Thursday?
I think that's the shortest amount of time he's gone. No, he didn't say that. First of all, I picked up on that. He said he hasn't had hot water since Thursday night. He didn't say he hasn't showered since Thursday night.
So
he said hot water went out Thursday night.
Oh, he's got to just stink.
It might be a run.
Honestly, I've been saying that the Jets need to fumigate their building. We got to fumigate the Bobby Midnight apartment. Then next, send the people fumigating the Jets up to Brattleboro, Vermont.
D-Rob's got a great comment. What time is the Bobby Midnight show? 10 p.m. to 11 a.m.? Coincidence? He does a 13-and-a-half-hour show on New Year's Eve, and then he gets completely sick a few days later? I don't think so.
Directly
he doesn't leave
correlated.
the apartment. How'd he get sick? I feel bad for the guy.
Ugh, that's just grotesque.
All right. I know you got some other callers. We agree a lot, so it's always fun when we can argue. We argued a couple weeks ago with you and Bonesy on my show about Rodgers, and we haven't seen Bonesy since. I haven't. I get a text occasionally, but Bonesy's curled up in the fetal position somewhere.
The Jets killed him. They really did.
Poor guy.
Sad.
And thank you. I always love the platform. I love talking with you. And good night, everybody. See you guys a little bit on my show.
Nick, God bless. You're one of the greats. The whole Tomlin thing, he's not leaving the Steelers, but I'll take him in a heartbeat, and we'll figure it out. Good stuff from Nick Shine. His show, sometimes at 9, sometimes at 10. It's a mystery, but go subscribe. Jeffrey R. gifted another 5-spot of memberships. Jeffrey, I appreciate it, my man. You've been awesome tonight. The chat exploded, so I don't know who got him, but you might have gotten him from Jeffrey because he's gifted the most by far. So make sure you thank him if you got one. Jojo says, amazing show tonight, Jake. I needed a good laugh. We learned a lot tonight. Jets 8-3-0. What do I owe the honor of a late night broadcast? The thought process was the game sucked. So let me come on and stay alive for the first half of this Bucks Commanders game, which thank you, Baker Mayfield, for throwing that touchdown to Mike Evans. What a throw that was, too. Jesus. Wow. He threw that in between the guy's shoulder pads. Unreal. I have the Bucks tonight. Julian with a super chat here. We got a couple calls left, and then we will wrap a 2-hour stream. We're back tomorrow in the morning. What's your take on taking Louis Riddick as GM and as head coach? I think if Tomlin's not available, we take our chances on Glenn or Johnson. Ben Johnson's not coming here, Julian. He wouldn't even interview for the job. As far as Aaron Glenn, I think he's going to end up being the coach. I'd prefer Flores, but I think it's going to be Glenn. Louis Riddick, I want nothing to do with. 1, he hates the Jets. 2, he hasn't been in an NFL front office in a decade. 3, Mike Mayock was not a good GM when he left a TV network. Louis Riddick, I don't want him. I want someone with more experience. Beth Page Chris says, the damage the Jets did to their fans this year is beyond what any team has done ever. I agree. I mean, there is no worse return on investment than being a Jet fan. We don't have our own stadium, haven't won a division title, which means no playoff game in 20 years, a home playoff game, longest playoff drought in professional sports, haven't had a winning season in a decade, and this fan base remains one of the best, if not the best in sports. There's 405 people in here watching a show live as there's a good NFL playoff game on. If that doesn't tell you about the power of this fan base, I don't know what will. Ladies and gentlemen, perhaps one last call to wrap it all up. We say hello to, quite simply, one of the all-time greats.
I got my Iron UG. I hope you like my Jets take. You know they call me David T. It's not easy for me to see, but if you bring me full stream, you might like what I had to say. I'll need to get real damn close, cause my vision is dog shit. Hi, Jake.
Hey, David.
I'm very much rooting for Bobby to get the Burger King job, but hopefully he can go to his daughter's or somewhere else. If he has to go to a sit-down interview, he's got to be smelling sweet for that. And if he does get the job, hopefully they have a locker room with showers, as an employee benefit. So we're thinking of the best for him.
I think Bobby needs to shower immediately, though, David. What do you think?
From your discussion with Nick, yeah, I mean, yes, I'm not, I mean, I know he hasn't had hot water and everything, but you got to find a way somehow, But
Lane Kerner writes in, "Hi, David."
hi, Lane. I'm always on the Lane train. You're such a cool guy. Yeah, I love the Lane train. And as a matter of fact, when the beast was on and he was talking about the different positions, I think if you hook the beast up with Dom C, they might be able to come up with another Knoble, which is the Lane Train's famous, or maybe Lane Train could get in the group and then come up with another talent as Knoble.
I can see it. I think there's something to that for sure.
Yeah, they could collaborate on everything. But real quick, you at this point you don't think we're going to get Flores?
Brian Flores, you're saying?
Brian Flores, yeah.
I think the Jets are going to end up hiring Aaron Glenn. My preference is Brian Flores because he has previous head coaching experience, and I think he's already proven to be a decent coach as long as he could hire a good offensive staff, which I'm sure he's learned a lot from his first go-around. But I think they're going to hire Aaron Glenn.
Well, do you think they're going to hire? I mean, if you put Flores there and Aaron Glenn, and yes, he could be a great coach and all that stuff, but Flores is a proven winner and can come in and win right away. But you seem to think they're going to lean towards Aaron Glenn.
It just feels like he's their guy. He had a great interview. It leaked out right away. Former Jet. He kind of fits the description of the type of coach they need. He just doesn't have the experience. And look, I wouldn't hate it necessarily. I would just need to know what his plan is for the offense. He needs to have a good offensive coordinator.
Yeah, I wouldn't hate it neither. I mean, if it comes down to that, I kind of have my heart set on Flores right now a little bit, but if it gets to Aaron Glenn, I wouldn't hate that. And of course, we're all going to rally around him.
We're going to rally around him. I know you'll be, you'll be pumping him up, David. You'll look him in the eyes and you'll see that fire and desire inside, right?
Yes, I'd have to stare him face to face and see into his, as they say, see into his soul. And I'm sure if I did that, though, I'm sure he's got the goods.
Now, David, your eyes are in this call more closed than I've seen them. You doing all right?
I'm doing okay since yesterday. An update is I am. I actually did research because people had mentioned that it had looked like pink eye. So I got on the internet last night, and I'm like, the symptoms of pink eye, but it was proposed that symptoms of pink eye as opposed to allergies, which I happen to think since I'm down here, I must have developed some allergies because I sneeze a lot more and this and that, and so they were comparing pink eye to the allergies. And what I'm going to do, my brother wants me to go to the doctor tomorrow, as early as tomorrow, but I want to try to get a day's work in or two, and then get to the family doctor and talk to him about the allergy thing. I don't think it's pink eye. Maybe he would test for that, but and then talk about the allergy thing, because I'm still always laying it on eye infection or irritation from the contact lens. But what I was reading up on, with allergies, it makes your eyes water extremely. It makes your eyes red or bloodshot, which it fits me to a T and everything. And then maybe they have some type of prescription for it, that will keep it settled. But I do have intention of at least talking to the doctor about it, Jake. I'm trying to get trying to get to the bottom of it.
Well, you get better, all right, David? Hopefully you get some allergy medicine if that's it, or whatever you need, all right? We're rooting for you.
Oh yeah, thank you. I'll get better. I'll get better.
You know, unfortunately, if you watch the Jets this year, it didn't help your eyesight, so I apologize on behalf of them.
No, there's no need for you to apologize. You didn't, you're just a big fan and one of the most knowledgeable people about them. But it's you can't play the game for them.
Bobby thinks it's your eyelashes that are causing your irritation.
Yeah, Bobby had said that before. I don't. And I think he tried to explain it to me, but I don't really, I don't really grasp onto that. I don't know what my eyelashes would be, causing that. So I don't know. Maybe tell Bobby when I go to the doctor this week, I'll mention the eyelashes. I'll leave no stone unturned. I'll try to get to the bottom of everything.
Ladies and gentlemen, the great David T.
I got my Iron J. I hope you like my Jets take. You know they call me David T. It's not easy for me to see, but if you bring me full stream, you might like what I had to say. I'll need to get real damn close, cause my vision is dog shit.
I was going to end the show, but we have to address some controversy I'm seeing in the chat. Jeffrey R. wrote in, Bobby can't take a joke. And it appears like Bobby Midnight went back at Jeffrey R. So I just want to make sure everything's okay and there's no rumble before we get out of here. Bobby, are you good with Jeffrey R? Do you feel the need to respond to him after you hopefully take a shower? All right. I just want to make sure we're good here. To quote David T., no stone left unturned around these parts. Dart Stevo says David T has a bad case of the New York Jets. Don't we all? Don't we all? Oh, man. Let's see. Jeffrey R. said, your show is boring, Bobby. Wow, Jeffrey R. going after the Bobby Midnight program. Uh-oh. Careful, Jeffrey. Bobby Midnight don't mess around. He'll get his little Irish ass on you. He'll scream at you. Unreal. Beastbreaker just wrote in, leave Bobby alone. See? That's friendship right there. Love to see that. Hit the like button. Bobby writes in, Jeffrey R., you suck, boy. Jeffrey R. wrote, he's fine, Jake. Uh-oh. Lane Train wants to know, how do I feel about Beastbreaker? I think he makes some salient points. I think he brings a lot to the show. Good perspective. Rex Ryan as OC. That's a name we have not heard before in that role. Everyone thinks about Rex as a DC or a head coach. How about Rex as the OC? Right? These are things you got to consider. These are the things you need to consider. By the way, this is where the Beast and Bobby Midnight friendship really came, or really reached, I should say, a different level. This happened yesterday.
I'm better, Beast. How you doing?
Hey, hey, we sang you that Whopper song. Hey, Jake, let's give him that Whopper song. Whopper, Whopper at BK. We're on the move at BK. Have it your way. You rule.
You rule, yeah.
Hey, I hope you get that job at Burger King, my friend.
That's what it's all about. Bobby disgusted us with his lack of showering. I didn't even get to ask him what's the latest with the Burger King interview. Is the interview this week? Anyway. All right. I think we're done here. Ladies and gentlemen, fun show. Thank you to all. Reminder, merch store, jakeasman.com. You don't want to wear Jets gear. I get it. How about some Jake Asman or Asmaniac gear? jakeasman.com. Patreon users, ignore the 15% here. It's not 15%. It's 20% now. Use the code that I posted in the Discord and on the dashboard of the Patreon. Make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you like the video. We will be back tomorrow. Not one, but 2 shows. Will Parkinson's joining the second show. Stay tuned for what we got cooking for the first show tomorrow. Join the Patreon if you haven't already. I cannot recommend that enough. Best way to support me, get in our Discord. And there's a chance we might have a couple spots opening up for the Knicks as Maniac meetup on March 22nd. So I'm going to prioritize people on Patreon/Discord first, if that's the case. So if you're interested, I recommend you join the Patreon for just $5. If you sign up for the year, you save 15%, but it goes a long way towards what I do here on this show. Anyway, thank you all for your support. My name is Jake Asman. This has been the Jake Asman Show. If you're watching live, enjoy the second half of the nightcap here. It looks like we finally have a decent football game that is on. So I'll be watching that. All of you, enjoy the rest of your night. JETS. Jets, Jets, Jets.
Breaking sports news just in from the Jake Asman Show. After the New York Jets embarrassed themselves, losing 27-6 on Monday Night Football to the below-average Chargers, quarterback Zach Wilson showed once again that he's not ready for prime time. So when ESPN's Michael Kay questioned head coach Robert Saleh about possibly benching the number 2 overall pick, Kay was hit with a somewhat confusing response.
You've got Trevor Siemian. Why not give him a try?
A fair question. I don't know. You got me. I'm gonna plead the fifth on all this one.
The head coach actually took the fifth, sending shockwaves throughout the Jet fan base. And the following day, our hero, the great Jake Asman, along with some very frustrated fans, let their voices be heard at this unhinged and tragic New York Jets press conference.
Hey, Robert, thanks for taking my question. With Zach starting again Sunday, does he have any compromising photos of you or someone else in the organization?
No, that's a fair question, Jake. I'm going to take the fifth on that one.
What the hell is this going backwards bullshit? You don't go backwards. You throw the ball out of bounds with your big goddamn arm, and you go back in the fucking huddle.
No, that's a fair question, Neil.
This is bullshit.
Jose Feliciano, the blind Puerto Rican guitarist, can see that he is terrible.
This kid does not want to run with the ball.
Are you kidding me? This is the shit I'm talking about. You bitch's ass. You did his ass on my damn field.
No, that's a fair question, King.
The third damn year we are seeing this in Naptown.
He's not trying to win the goddamn game.
You gotta be kidding me. Send his ass the fuck down.
I could have made 20 yards with that goddamn hole.
If your quarterback cannot play in the NFL, they get rid of him.
Oh, there's one of his 27 seconds throws. Oh, it's amazing. I don't give a shit.
If you cannot play football, get your ass off the field.
And walk around and wipe Rodgers' ass because that's all you're good for.
And you're sitting here defending this bullshit.
If I see Zach Wilson go on that field, me and Lowski are going on personally, and we're going to take his ass off the field.
It is torture, man.
God damn it.
All right, thanks, guys.
But one of your arch nemesis has just called in to challenge you. Buckle up.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Asmaniac Rumble.
What do we have here? Look at this guy.
Before we talk about Gabagoo, let me get some words in. Look, the Jets, Aaron Rodgers, quarterback. Josh Allen, quarterback. Patrick Mahomes, quarterback. We bring back Tom Brady. You try to tell me that those 4 quarterbacks aren't going to make a difference?
Time out.
Look,
Tom Brady is happily retired.
He's still got something. You don't know what you're talking about. Hey, you don't know what you're talking about.
Hey, relax. Hey. Before you blow up with blood pressure. I'm not going to tell you again.
Hey.
Relax.
Oh.
I'm not going to tell you again.
You're making me upset. I'm getting upset.
Yeah, getting upset what? What are you getting upset at? Get out of here then. Go. 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 If you're going to act like a crybaby, go.
Oh, I'm getting upset. I can't feel this way. I need a new diaper. Ma! Meatloaf and a diaper change. Ma!
Jake, this is embarrassing to the public. I'm not going to listen to this crap
What?
You're making a damn fool of yourself.
Mahomes on the Jets, along with Tom Brady and Josh Allen on the Jets. It's going to make a difference. A winning combination.
First of all, you're making an ass out of yourself, and you're not acting like a normal human being. Please act normal.
That you don't use to clean the funnel butt. Funnel butt.
If you're gonna act this way towards me, I'm not gonna act like I'm not gonna hear this BS.
Funnel butt.
Stop. Get out of here. I don't want to hear him. Do you understand me? Take a walk. I said take a walk.
Where am I going?
You know where you're going. To the back of the line. Now get your ass out of here and act like a civilian and do your part like everybody else.
Jake, he told me to get to the back of the line, Jake. I don't like when people tell me to get to the back of the line.
Get used to it, son. I'm not going to accept you.
I will go to the back
Get
of
in
the
line.
For you.
Good.
Right.
Give me a real person to talk to. I'd like to speak to Bobby, but he's a little sick right now. That last guy you heard on there,